There's nothing worse than bad comedy. Hello, Charkie.
Hey, Cass. And if there's anyone who knows bad comedy, it's us.
that is most certainly a fact. Hello, one and all. Welcome, everyone, to the Deer Avenger Retrospective stream, brought to you by the Bad Game Hall of Fame.
Today's the anniversary of Deer.
Yeah. So, you know what got me thinking about this one?
Besides the fact that you're always thinking about this one?
We've been thinking about this one for a while. We'll get into that when we get into the history. And there is, believe it or not, a lot of history to get through on this one. You might not expect it for Deer Avenger, but alas, there is a lot to say. No, what got me thinking about this is I've been watching that what do you call them? The Japanese cartoons, the anime?
Yeah.
The Shika Noko 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 Koishi no Tan, which is about a deer girl.
Been meaning to see that one.
It's okay.
Oh,
It's fine. I chuckle. I chuckle at a couple things. You know, got me thinking about deer. And, you know, I do pass by deer on the road quite often during my commutes, my travels, my journeys, my treks. So, you know, I've always thought deer were neat. And I think a contributing factor to it is the fact that, honest to God, I grew up with these games. This is diving deep into the nostalgia hole for me, running these games on a Windows 95 machine, barely up to the task of it. And yet, I kept up with the series through all 4 installments in one spin-off. You may recall we did a previous stream. I think we called it the Parody Games Parade, where I made you make a promise to me to never let us play comedy games on the stream again.
Right, and then we did Comedy Game Cavalcade.
Yeah, and then we did the Bakage, Best of Bakage, and now we're doing this. So, clearly, someone's not living up to their promise here. But, yeah, those games, these parody-style games, I grew up with a lot of these. I grew up with this Deer Avenger, grew up with a lot of the games that we showcased in that Parody Game Parade stream. So this is sort of closing the loop on that. This is coming back around to that. This is finishing some unfinished business. Slime Generator says, been following the Deer Avenger tag on Twitch for 12 years. Finally, a fellow Deer Avenger fan. Would that have been back in the Justin TV days? 12 years ago? Was Twitch 12 years ago? The time flies, Charky. Just like it's been, God, if this came out in 1997, if the first game in the series came out in 1997, where's it 1998?
It was definitely Justin TV back then.
Yeah, to say the least.
This is
thank you for the subscription, courteous Canadian.
Thank you very much. Very courteous of you to do so at the beginning of the show. We thank you for it. I also want to take just a little bit of time at the beginning of the show to say rest in peace co-host.
Yeah. Not quite dead yet, but
it has a due date. Yeah. It literally has, like, this is when we are shutting it down. That's a shame. I like that co-host site. I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Aside from all the problems it had.
I like to do in long form posts. And the thing is, like, Tumblr still exists, and I don't want to be on Tumblr. And, like, I'm moving to Blue Sky at this point, and I can't do long form on Blue Sky, so
no, you
I'll
certainly
see what
can't. Unless you want to pay for that X Premium. And you can post as much as you want on there. Genuine disgust coming from you on that one. And well-earned, well-deserved.
But speaking of Blue Sky, we are on Blue Sky now.
We are on Blue Sky. I think I secured the bghof.com as the username on there for the main account. We do
just Bad Game Hall of Fame. I think that works too.
No, I think only one works. I think we
really?
Killed the previous URL when I moved it to the domain name one. Anyway, I have to go back through all the YouTube uploads now, like all of them, and fix the co-host or replace the co-host links with links to our Blue Sky pages now. So that's going to be a fucking ton of fun to do that. But you know what else is fun? You know what is genuinely fun? You know what? Something I look forward to that brightens my day every time we do it. And it is, without further ado, Charky's Stream Snack. Please to take it away, my snack-eating friend.
All right. Tonight's Stream Snack for our food is going to be Bird's Eye Crispy Broccoli Florets. broccoli tempura, more or less. So I'm gonna give that a try right now.
We're coming for you, Try Guys. We're trying stuff on stream right now.
Very, very good.
Bobbiner says they can't believe that we're not eating pure venison in honor of tonight's stream.
No, in honor of
where's the theming,
stream,
Charky?
And hey, my theming was no meat because I don't want to get got by that deer.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. All right, fair play.
That broccoli, very good. I like broccoli just to begin with.
I do too.
The breading and the crispiness and the sodium is nice. Kind of like the tempura thing, like I was saying, not real tempura, but and it's already unhealthy, so I decided to make it worse, and I put a little cheese on there too, a little cheddar. It is fantastic. Tonight's drink is Reign Total Body Fuel White Gummy Bear.
No, it's like those flavored vodkas, or like whipped cream flavored vodka. And it's like, no thanks.
Oop. Well, let's try it. See.
This is a present from me to you.
You know what is really throwing me off?
It is not over yet.
The fact that Soul Stuff just subscribed in the middle of that. Thank you, Soul Stuff, for resubscribing.
And got a hype turn. No, what throws me off is this does taste like white gummy bear. That is the flavor. That is exactly the flavor.
Well, truth in advertising
that,
for a change.
I'm surprised I got that dead on, yeah.
I'm drinking moonshine tonight because the games tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give
this is moonshine drinking games.
Yeah, I'm gonna give a warning at the top of the show. If you are of the redneck persuasion, if you happen to be a self-professed redneck, this is stream. Some of these games might hurt your feelings. They might be a little offensive. Actually, they're offensive beyond that. They have other stereotyping in there as well.
I mean, these are like Office Depot core video games. Staples
core, as I like to call them. That's my point of reference. And Toys R Us. These were sold at Toys R Us. Somehow. I'm also drinking Monster Energy because I need my energy. But that'll do it for the stream snack segment.
And real quick, while I got the hype train going, folks, it's September.
Oh, yes, it is.
It actually is. So new subs, I believe, get a discount.
Please to consider financially supporting us. Please to consider joining the Discord as well, gaining access to the Patreon Saints channel if you happen to be a Twitch subscriber or Patreon pledger, where you'll have access to voting, to polling, to making suggestions to us for what games you want to see us play on stream. But there is another segment. I don't have a graphic for this one. This is the fan mail segment, I'm going to call this, and until we come up with a better name for it. Regular user in the Discord server, Nebula, saw fit to bequeath me a care package of sorts containing 2 DVDs. And the first one here, I don't have any way to show this. I don't have a camera to put these in front of, so you just got to take my word for it that I'm holding in my hand Doom 3 Weapons of Doom Guide, exclusive sneak peek. So this was some promotional material for Doom 3, in case you wanted to see what the guns were in Doom 3. I think there's a shotgun. There might be a machine gun in there somewhere. Maybe a big frickin' gun. But the second one is honestly more interesting to me. Caution! Too hot for the internet. Whoa, son! So hot it's censored. Screwattack.com's too hot for the internet. This is Stuttering Craig's face staring back into me.
I'm supposed to say finally Stuttering Craig naked. I've been waiting for this.
Finally. I'm looking at the list of skits on the back of this. Ooh, this cost $14.99. Yay!
Is that how much Nebula paid for it, or was that retail price?
Who's to say? I guess I'll ask them after the show. While I screen this for everyone. I don't have a DVD player built into my computer anyway. We'll find a way. I'll find a way to torture people with that, as I've been tortured by that. Thank you, Nebula. Fuck you, Nebula. I didn't want to open a box and see Stuttering Craig's face staring back at me, but here we are. Thank you.
That's how 7 ended, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe one day we'll open a P.O. box Maybe one day we will invite more stuff along those lines. But for now, don't.
Maybe
for now,
maybe
don't
one day
send
we'll
us
start.
shit.
Maybe one day we'll start this stream.
Why start now?
Yeah,
All
there's
right.
on YouTube. There's like chapter things you can.
Yeah, people will just skip
They've already
ahead.
skipped,
People do
yeah.
routinely skip ahead to what we're going to begin here, which is the history segment, or at least part of it. This is one of those ones where we're going to have slides in between each of the games. But I do want to read Courteous Canadian's cheer comment here, which speaks to my heart. My dad bought me the first Deer Avenger from a Walmart bargain bin when I was a wee lad. Pure nostalgia cheer. Speaking of that, oh, would you look at this? Here's my personal collection of these fucking games that I've acquired over the years between Staples and the Toys R Us between the years 1998 and 2001 or 2002, because that's how long this series was produced for by Hypnotics. We'll get into Hypnotics, we'll get into the production of these games, but yeah, the fact that I've kept these around, I sold every video game I owned at a certain point in time. All my NES games, SNES games, PS1, PS2. I sold my entire collection, my consoles. Somehow, some way, these games have stuck around in my collection. These games have traveled with me from home to home. So, don't ask me why. Maybe because I have some weird fondness for them. Who's to say? Now, here's the thing about Deer Avenger. You might not be able to gather. If you look closely, you'll see that the Deer Avenger logo is the Deer Hunter logo with the word Avenger spray painted on top of the word Hunter, which brings us to the subject of Deer Hunter, also known as Deer Hunter Interactive Hunting Experience, a 1997 game initially developed by Sunstorm Interactive, studio known for their add-ons to Build Engine games, including Duke Nukem 3D, Blood, and Redneck Rampage. Apropos enough, they did expansions for those games back in the day, and published by WizardWorks. This game would sell at least 1 million copies over the course of a year. One of the early success stories for like bargain bin gaming, for value PC software, for games that were sold originally exclusively at Walmart. And I actually have an excerpt from Next Generation Magazine, issue 41, published in May 1998. Name of the article that I'm taking these snippets from is WizardWorks Proves Success Can Be Cheap. So I'm going to read a little bit of this. Developed for less than $100,000 by Sunstorm Interactive, whose previous credits include Duke Zone and H Zone, Heretic expansion packs for GT products, Deer Hunter has been on PC Data's bestseller list since it hit shelves last October, selling more than 182,000 units. This was just a month after. Went on to sell 1 million over the course of a year. In January, the game hit number 1 ahead of Riven, Quake 2, and Tomb Raider 2. According to sources, the game may have never been released if it weren't for an executive at Walmart who wasn't happy with the kinds of games the store was selling. He mentioned to a WizardWorks representative that if he only had a game about deer hunting, he could sell thousands. WizardWorks listened, and the product was created as a Walmart exclusive. It has since been released to other retailers. Obviously, we're happy about the sales, says Anthony Campiti, president of Sunstorm. We struck on a market that was untapped, the box looked good, and it was a good product. It may not be a technological marvel, but it's fun. Does Campiti see a lesson for other developers in Deer Hunter's success? Lots of companies say, we need 2 years to develop a game, and if it isn't a hit, we're in trouble. We can do things more efficiently.
That is an unhinged executive at Walmart, right?
They're not wrong.
I mean, I'm thinking like, we're selling all these games, your Marios, your Zeldas, your Rivens, like, let me kill a deer. I want to taste blood.
They were correct though, because like despite the game
they were correct, yeah.
The game was a critical dud, to be clear, like mostly like 2s and out of 5s. And they're right, it wasn't technologically impressive. It's very basic. But you know what was brilliant about that? That most people who were in the market for a deer hunting game at Walmart were not running on like cutting edge computers with like voodoo graphics cards. This hit right in the strike zone. It landed with an underserved audience who didn't necessarily care about the critical reception, who weren't looking at like reading gaming magazines. They were just seeking like simple distractions for their stock PCs. and they were willing to impulse buy this. And you know what? Other publishers took notice and decided to get in on this untapped market. Unrelated, Simon & Schuster Interactive. Simon & Schuster Software was established in 1985 by American publishing company Simon & Schuster, considered one of the big 5 English-language publishers to this day, with a company lineage dating back to 1924. Their early focus laid... Oh.
Real quick question for you. If you know this, who's that guy?
Davy Crockett?
I don't know the answer either. I was hoping you would.
Johnny Appleseed? Some
maybe
generic explorer, frontiersman type. I'm sure there's
Simon
a story.
or Schuster.
Yes, but not both. So Simon & Schuster Software, their early focus laid in a series of typing tutor games and a series of Star Trek tie-in games. But they lost interest in the software business in around 1989, only to change their minds again in 1995 with the personal computer boom. And they reestablished Simon & Schuster Interactive, which we see the logo for now, to take its place and to continue with a run of edutainment and creativity center style software. You know those multimedia extravaganzas. I Am Mean is an early title by Simon & Schuster Interactive in their edutainment line. And they also were responsible for Forbes Corporate Warrior, which is another banger of a first-person shooter, of a 2.5D FPS, and will absolutely feature on the show someday. But these games, for as niche as they were, for as much as I Am Mean went on to become a meme, and as much as Forbes Corporate Warrior is a notoriously bad game, these games probably weren't moving the dial back in the day in terms of sales. They weren't justifying the expenses of running a software label. So Simon & Schuster had to look to the market for a more unique sort of angle, and inspiration evidently struck with the success of Deer Hunter for WizardWorks, as a memo hit the desk of one Jeff Siegel, then vice president of Simon & Schuster's Interactive division. We will get to that memo and that story in just a minute. I want to thank Jordan Games for resubscribing, continuing for 4 months. Thank you very much. You're just in time for the history section. This is Jeff Siegel. This is his LinkedIn page. This is an article he wrote called Don't Buy This Game, which is the story of the inception of Deer Avenger, which we're going to get to in a second. I should note that Jeff Siegel has been involved in the games industry since at least 1982, when he joined Scholastic Inc.'s software division. He remained there until 1988, bounced between a number of short-lived studios until landing in his role at Simon & Schuster Interactive. He's since been involved with the likes of Infusion and Brand Games, and you'll see his name pop up in all number of games. He has like 1 billion credits, like mostly special thanks or like producer roles. But this dude is like industry vet, and he is responsible for the formulation of the idea that would become Deer Avenger. This is an excerpt from this quote, or an excerpt from this post, I should say. I'm going to link to the post, the LinkedIn post right here. I'm going to read from this. I was vice president of Viacom's Simon & Schuster Interactive division. One Friday afternoon in August, my boss tasked me with entering the then-booming deer hunting video game market. Deer Hunter was a huge seller at Walmart and other big box stores, and there were a few copycat products that were riding its coattails. My mission was to create a new hunting game that would be competitive with these multi-million unit sellers and ship it in less than 90 days, so it would be on the shelves for the holidays. If you ever created any software product, you know, this could have easily turned into a suicide mission. But the mechanics of a hunting game were not very complex, so I figured I could ship a very simple product if I started yesterday and used every available moment. But if that's all I could deliver, what would be the point? We weren't big on marketing budgets, and the only way we could get a new hunting game into Walmart or anywhere else would be to commit to marketing dollars that I knew we didn't have. Even if we did get it on the shelves, weak advertising promotion would doom us to returns in Q1, quarter one. If I was going to invest the product development team's dollars in my team's time, I need to know that there was some reasonable path to sales. I quickly realized that I needed a story, something our marketing team could build a plan around that wouldn't cost much to execute, something that would get us on the radar quickly. But what was the story? I spent that Saturday wrestling with this challenge. What could I do in 90 days that would be different and better than those other products? I came up with exciting new weapons, intriguing new hunting locations, strange new lures, but the more new I wanted to do, the less likely I'd make my November deadline. I had to do something different that would not make the game any more difficult to develop. Then I remember I was sitting in my car on Sunday evening, waiting to pick up food from a restaurant, and it struck me. In my car that day, Deer Avenger was born. My brainstorm was to turn the game inside out. In my game, the deer would become the hunter, and he would be taking revenge on the hunters. And this renegade deer, who we christened Bambo, would have lots of funny dialogue and secret weapons like atomic farts. This solution added no complexity to the development. In fact, it simplified it because I was able to lean on humor and cut back on some competitive features. By November, we had shaped a hilarious game that the press couldn't get enough of. It became an instant success, selling tens of thousands of units a week at Walmart and other stores. Of course, we did offend some people, like the NRA members who went on TV and held up the box demanding no one buy the game. They claimed it was cruel to hunters. You couldn't ask for better press than that. Should be noted, this is not the first commercial parody game. That'd be 1985's Board of the Rings for the home computers. You may also remember Pissed, and we did a whole parody game parade episode. We mentioned that earlier. So not the first ever parody game, but a wisely placed one, a smartly approached one. Simon & Schuster made a smart decision here in committing to this plan, and made an even smarter decision by contracting out to a developer who actually had some shooting game experience. That being Hypnotics, Inc.
You know, I don't know why I would have not expected the NRA to not like the game. In my mind, I thought they would have been like, oh, that's a knee slapper.
What
them
a
shooting
chuckle.
us, yeah. But then be like, no, our guns.
We'll see
shoot us.
what they take issue with, and they have probably
okay.
some legitimate. We'll see.
All right, we'll see.
Hypnotics Inc., established in 1993, releasing the rail shooters Wetlands in 1995 and Soldier Boys in 1997, both for MS-DOS. That latter one is actually a novel. It's an FMV-like gun game. It's an FMV tie-in to a 1995 movie of the same name, in which called on a then-unknown director by the name of Darren Aronofsky to design and direct the cutscenes in that game, starring the movie's original cast. I love me a good rail shooter. I've got to confess, neither of Hypnotics' early games really do much for me. That Soldier Boys in particular is particularly dire. Despite having some novel ideas with how different characters play and shoot, they all have different guns. Some ideas not executed well. In fact, Computer Gaming World magazine went so far as to claim that Soldier Boys, quote, just might be the game that drives a stake into the heart of FMV in their September 1997 issue. So Hypnotics were likely on the verge of death as a studio, just 2 games in and 2 years in, or 2, 3, 4, when the deal was struck with Simon & Schuster to produce a Deer Hunter parody. Maybe Simon & Schuster saw a kinship in Hypnotics for the fact that both companies had their roots in New York City. Maybe they saw some potential that the critics didn't. Or, maybe Hypnotics has put in a really low bid and Simon & Schuster took the gamble. In any event, both parties were likely aware that a parody game was going to need a proper comedy writer. Enter Brian McCann, born August 16th, 1965, an American actor, comedian, and writer. He's a graduate of the Players Workshop of the Second City and Second City Training Center, but he's best known for his sketch comedy work on the late-night talk show Late Night with Conan O'Brien. McCann played many recurring characters on the show. You may remember him as Preparation H. Raymond, the FedEx Pope, or perhaps the Suicidal Kayaker. But most pertinently, for the sake of our story, he was the writer who was hired to pen the jokes in Deer Avenger, but he was also able to demonstrate his comedy chops well enough to land the voice of Bambo as well. So multifaceted here. As far as Conan writers by the name of Brian, I do prefer Brian Stack, a.k.a. Artie Kendall, a.k.a. the Ghost Crooner, but that's just a matter of personal taste. Brian McCann is a funny dude, though, so credit where credit's due to funny people. Credit to the funny people, the comedians, if you will. I believe that's what they call them in the industry. I believe it's a technical term. Which brings us to Deer Avenger, the first, a parody of the best-selling hunting game. Releasing in October 1998, the depth of Deer Avenger's parody went so far as to come out around the 1-year anniversary of Deer Hunter's initial release, which is commitment to a bit. Beyond the similarities in box art and the logo design straight up putting a cross through the word Hunter in a facsimile of the original game's logo, the game itself is almost a one-to-one replica of Deer Hunter's mechanics, but with a fresh coat of paint and comedic vision in mind. IGN reported on a Simon & Schuster press statement, an announcement for Deer Avenger, on October 22nd, 1998. I will link to that post here. And to quote, Simon & Schuster and Sidant Software, editor's note, this is the future of Vivendi Games and Sidant Software, announced yesterday the development of a new title that will give virtual hunters a new target to hunt. Man. In the new game, titled Deer Avenger, the companies will give players the chance to take on the role of a gun-toting deer out to get revenge on those hunters who have been taking pot shots at animals for so many years. The game will take players into 3 different arenas, West Virginia, Connecticut, and Minnesota, armed with all sorts of high-powered weaponry, including an M16 and a slingshot that fires deer pellets. Other tools at a player's disposal will include a variety of over a dozen different hunter calls, including, "Help! I'm naked, and I have a pizza!" and "Free beer here." Deer farts. Sorry, folks. We just report this stuff. We don't make it up. And various scopes and binoculars. The most interesting thing about the title, which ships in November, shipped in October, so that's wrong, is that the entire title is being written by Brian McCann, one of the staff writers for Late Night with Conan O'Brien show, one of our personal favorites here at the IGN offices. Look for more on the game as it becomes available here on IGN PC. So, let's play the thing. Why don't we? I think it's about time, right? For me to boot
give
up
it a shot.
My virtual machine and get the original Deer Avenger launched. I'm going to launch this one in Windows 95 and on PCEM.
Ooh. I like what I'm seeing. I don't know if the stream's seeing this, but I like what I'm seeing.
Yes, the stream. I'm showing the DOS, the BIOS, system BIOS here. It's not often we get to break out the virtual machines on the show, but I'm happy to. Anball Gang asks, are you playing this from beginning to end? No, we're just going to sample some of these games. We have 5 games to get through tonight, so we're not going to play them through to completion, but we are going to show, I think, some decent chunks of these. Let me make sure my CD-ROM is inserted. I'm getting my real disc right now. I'm putting in my real computer. That's absolutely what I'm doing here. Yeah, let's launch Deer Avenger. And there's going to be an intro to this, an animated intro. I'm going to need to adjust the volume during that. So let Bambo serenade us. That's probably a little loud. That should do it. I remember this from the Evil Dead. Oh, just a little bit of corruption on this intro.
It's showtime.
Voice of Brian McCann there. Welcome to Deer Avenger. This screen is very familiar. Bob Maynard asked, do you think there's a lot of furry fan art of this guy by now? God, I hope so. Though this is their second best depiction in these games. I like his appearance in Deer Avenger 2. Then from there, once he gets into the 3D games, it gets a little rough. What's our name? We'll go with that. Let's choose a weapon. We have our 3 choices here.
Is slingshot like a non-fatal option?
No, it will eventually kill them. All these serve the same end. There's also a comment on each of these guns, so let's hear those. Get an early taste for the comedy stylings in this game.
Well, this should even the odds.
Okay, bazooka.
Oh yeah, when they absolutely positively gotta die.
And how about the slingshot?
It may not be strong, but it's stinky.
Very good. And if we click on this hunter in the back, does that do anything? No. Oh, there we go.
Well, he fell over on his own earlier anyway.
Odds.
Maybe. So perhaps. What about the target? I want to click the target. No. I'll take the M16, then maybe we'll play around with the bazooka a bit. We have our free choice of the 3 areas that called arenas by IGN. Let's go to Connecticut. Why don't we?
Connecticut. Picturesque, peaceful, colonial New England. A breathtaking backdrop for vengeance.
What about Minnesota, though?
Minnesota. Winter in the Gopher State. 10,000 frozen lakes and a lot of dumb hunters.
But what about West Virginia?
West Virginia. Come for the hunting, stay for the wacky dancing, banjo-playing inbred freaks.
Yeah, that's about what I was expecting. That's about the tone we're going to take here. Magic Meows asks who did this voice acting. Brian McCann, the writer of the jokes, and the Conan, he's an actor, and he did the voice of Bambo. As we covered in the history section, if you were paying attention. Let's just start in Connecticut.
It's showtime.
So this is all, so far, very similar to Deer Hunter.
Fun.
Deer Hunter, I think, maybe had a little more as far as like the lures and the baits and that sort of stuff. On this screen, you may have like a little more selection. But the goal of this screen is just to click randomly
Here we go.
in search of any number of signs that hunters have come through.
I don't know how they're gonna top this technology with Deer Avenger 2.
Calling their shot already.
I mean, when you're right, you're right.
So this is hunting. This is what the game looks like. And this is, again, very similar to original Deer Hunter. In fact, it's almost identical, barring this heads-up display here. So here's the thing. We need to do a combination of farts to create a scent.
Where are these morons?
And calls to get their attention and bring them to us. So let's start with a classy stream tonight. And let's see one of these calls. Let's do it in a different direction. I don't know if this does anything, but I've always like alternated between the cardinal directions.
Ooh, baby. Boy, these woods make me horny.
Oh, and I already hear a hunter
Man,
because of that.
I want to take voice training from this deer. Jeez.
Quite a range on this character. All right, here we go. First sucker. Oh, lost him through the trees. Clever hunter. What if I get on this side of the tree? Yep.
Oh, I figured you would be doing single shots and not
Sensors detecting danger. Don't stop.
whatever fully automatic thing you got going.
That was burst fire.
I can't tell if you're holding down the mouse or if you're just clicking it
I
over
was
and over
clicking
again.
it. It's a burst fire, so every time you click, it's 3 shots. Unfortunately, he got away.
Oh.
We can use binoculars, though, to see where he got away. I think there's also some
Binoculars.
Easter eggs, or if you look at the trees, I think you can like see some random cutscenes that might play. Let's see if I can trigger one of those. How about here? And because we blew our shot in this sector, the conventional wisdom would be at this point to move to a greener pasture. But I want to see if I can get one of these stupid cutscenes to play. Anything? Nothing?
No, you scared off the cutscenes.
Yeah, evidently. Okay,
Look
let's
for
go
cutscene droppings on the map.
back to the map.
It's back to the map.
That's my line. And so that's the gameplay loop. We just go clicking around.
This is much better than spending time with actual people.
And eventually, after enough clicking, Elvis the Culture Advisor says, "Oh, so you're hunting pixels too?"
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, this will do. All right, opening volley. And let's do a call.
Free tickets to a Molly Hatchet reunion show.
Relevant. That's a joke that
Yeah.
is aged like fine wine, as so many of these jokes will.
You ever try to go back and play old, Jack games?
Yes, I have. Little rough around the edges.
Help, I'm naked. And I have a pizza.
That's the line from the press statement. That's the line from the.
Oh. And it worked.
Remain calm.
Is
he not wearing pants? What is going on with him?
Yeah, he's in boxers. Okay.
I smell something. Something horrid.
There's so much tree coverage here. Oh, I think I see him. Oh, he doubled back in the other direction. Clever.
Wait, I smell something. Something horrid.
Oh, he's getting closer.
Wait a minute. Isn't the point of this game to shoot these guys? I guess there's so much other action going on that's a little hard to remember.
Shut up. I'm trying to bead my sights here. There he...
Hunger.
What if we make this like a pacifist stream?
Hunger.
Yeah, that ain't happening. That would be incredibly boring. More boring than this already is.
Ooh, wait. Did somebody just gut a pheasant? Nobody could stand this stench.
Try another call.
I think he got away.
There's a 30-point buck over here.
I think he fucked off. I think he got away.
Yeah.
I'd like to get at least
think
one of these motherfuckers.
I think he melded into the tree.
So now we're retracing some places we've already been.
How great these graphics are. Bingo.
This will have to do.
I think they're the same ones from earlier.
Viagra. Get your Viagra.
Remember when Viagra jokes were fresh and new in the early 90s? Oh wait, this game came out in the late 90s? Ooh. Hey, boy.
Hey, Ted Nugent's here. Who wants to meet the Nuge?
That line has stuck with me for some reason. Who wants to meet the Nuge? It's not particularly funny. It's just a line that has stuck with me. There will be more lines along those lines.
Uh-oh, somebody's pickup truck's over here and they left their lights on.
Anyone?
Escape Cage and Chad made me think of something, which is, what if you had a mod of this game that just replaced all the calls with Gex?
Wait, Baywatch is on.
Like, the conceit being that all of these hunters want to run over to meet Gex.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Who wouldn't? They're a celebrity. Oh. Footsteps. There's so much tree coverage here, though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a shot on. Gotta find him first, I guess. I guess that's Rory number one, concern number one. They could be anywhere behind these fucking trees.
Maybe you should go look in, like, the empty fields.
Yeah, that's probably the smart thing to do. Where art thou, hunter?
Nature's boring, toodaloo.
Oh, they fucked off. I mean, this is real hunting.
Back to the map.
Yeah.
Real hunting is fucking boring. And most of the time, shit gets away from you.
Be this cool?
Let's hope there's markings where there are no trees. This is not the most exciting game of the night.
That Walmart exec is like, good.
Yes, yes.
I never thought of it like this before.
I
Can
promise.
do nothing as a deer.
I promise as the games go on, they will get more interesting. But this is we need this as the point of reference. This was the game that was like probably most successful of these games. Wait, what if I?
Pay dirt.
There we go.
There we
I think
go.
this will cheat it. This will work.
Better, yeah.
Hey, anybody want a free satellite dish?
I will let you know that like these lines do get old very quick. There's only so many of them to go around. So you start getting repeats.
You can only fit so many MP3s on the disc.
Please, these were .wav files back in the day.
Free beer. Who wants a cold one?
Anyone? Come on now.
There's nothing going on. What's an angry deer supposed to shoot at? Here, drunky.
I do like the little stance in the top right corner. So there's some
I like that
cute art
3D
here.
gun model.
Hey, Ted Nugent's here. Who wants to meet the Nuge?
Already with the repeat lines.
Keep your tail down around this guy.
Oh, there he is.
It's horny.
Okay.
I haven't been shot. Long live General Lee.
There we go.
Oh, you have a hit list.
Yes, so these are the 7 different people you can hunt, and it keeps a running tally.
Quite a looker.
Yeah, so that is what that looks like. It is random chance who shows up and when. I think it might have something to do with like what location too. But like every time you do a hunt,
I feel like
yeah.
I feel like Tree Hugger and Tree Man are both probably gonna not show up in the fields as much.
Gotta die.
No, I meant more like the arena.
Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
In the Gopher State.
Well, let's take a bazooka with us and do some hunting in the snow, why don't we?
Same map layout, right?
No,
Pretty
slightly
sure.
different.
Okay.
Let's find out where them hunters are at.
You know, mechanically, like, you know,
Yes.
every arena is the same. Infinite scroll, the same 360 degree.
Looks like they brought the good stuff.
Oh, the good stuff. Beer brand beer. Creative marketing on whoever came up with that beer stuff. That's okay.
And that would definitely be like a 90s brand, right? That's
It's a minimalist
whole,
beer
like-
brand.
ironic minimalist, like OK Soda.
Uh-oh, somebody's pickup truck's over here and they left their lights on.
Okay, yeah, we get the lines. There was a magazine I subscribed to that was just like gag gifts and like novelty items, and they sold Nihilist gum, and it was just flavorless gum.
Here, drop.
And I so badly wanted that, and I just never pulled the trigger on that. I have to assume, I think it was Fanny McPhee or Annie McPhee or something like that. If anyone knows what the fuck I'm talking about, that catalog.
Cave.
And if anyone has any Nihilist gum, we'll open up a P.O. box just for that.
Ooh, baby. Boy,
I feel like you could probably buy flavorless gum these days. That's just like they could probably sell it like as a stim toy or something, right? Flavorless gum.
Yeah. I could see a use for that, a medicinal, a therapeutic.
Sweet! Baywatch is on!
This kind of excitement should sell out.
Oh, there he is.
Richie Rich. All right. One shot, everyone knows the rules.
These bugs are kind
Oh, wow, that I don't know how that didn't kill him.
Yeah, neither do I. Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. I really thought that was just going to kill him outright. I want to see. They have unique animations for whichever weapon you kill them with, so I want to see someone
alone.
fucking blow up
of the game.
before we close out of this game. Inch by inch.
Bingo.
Let's try
There
to
you go.
get to a more open clearing. Nope.
Nope. Is the marking gone now that no?
Nope,
okay.
nope. Luckily, those are static
persists.
to some extent. Where's the hunter shattering kaboom?
help, I'm naked. And I have a pizza.
Do
Hey.
me a favor.
Yes.
Just
Your Viagra!
just mash the fart button and see if that works.
Wait, did somebody just gut a pheasant? Nobody could stand this stench.
I think if you fart too much, it actually scares people away.
Oh, okay.
Here, who wants a cold one?
We'll give it a shot, though. I'll do a couple more
I figured it
calls.
would either scare them away or like instantly bring them in.
No, there's tactics in some of the later games.
30-point buck over here!
More than in this.
Oh my god, there's a 30-point buck over
Like, this is... To be clear, like, this is more novelty than it is real, like, game. There's not much depth to this,
You know-
believe it or not.
Do you know how much this would have retailed for back in the day?
Away.
20 or 30 bucks?
I should have taken a bath this morning. And it's back to
Probably closer to 20. Yeah, I think we blew that spot. So I think it's back to the map.
Come on, Magic Circle. Find me a hunter.
Yes, please. I agree, Bambo.
$4.99.
There you are.
Case. Looks like they brought the good stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be tree, but what can we do? Beggars can't be choosers. Bambos can't be choosers.
Kusi says like
Yeah.
says like those novelty screensaver discs. I was at a Goodwill a couple years ago and I saw like a Seinfeld one of those.
Oh, that's good.
It was a Seinfeld like planner and screensaver
Think I'm a
disc.
drunk with a gun. Yeah, a real standout in these woods.
GBRX has just got here. What is this? This is Deer Avenger 1.
the original.
Getting so boring, even I might start hunting deer.
Sweet! Baywatch is on!
Yeah, there's like 12 lines in this game. They don't improve the count on those. That's a recurring issue, is that they never really
Help!
improve the quantity to a sufficient degree where you're not getting immediate repeats.
Listen, when it's a writer for Conan O'Brien, you're paying them by the joke. So.
We have to find the answer by ourselves.
And it costs extra for good ones, so.
Yeah, clearly.
Magic Meow's redeemed to say something nice.
This would run on any computer. No matter what you threw this at, it would run, basically. If it ran Windows, it could run this. And that is a good thing. That is a genuinely good thing. That's the appeal that the original Deer Hunter had.
It's your Viagra!
So that if you were in the market for this, you could, like, run it. I mean, if you had a computer, you could play this game.
Left their lights on.
This sucks.
Now, have you ever played any of those Deer Hunter games? Like, not the parody ones?
Yeah, it's your reunion show.
Yeah, I played the original. It's this. It really isn't
Nothing going on.
meaningfully different at all from this.
The map.
Same call button, same fart button.
Yeah, exactly.
Voila.
Trying this spot one more time, and if this doesn't work, we're gonna move on to the next game. We're gonna move on to the slides in the next game if we can't get 100. I just want to blow someone up, for Christ's sakes.
Ted Nugent's here. Who wants to meet the Nuge?
I'm sure fucking Deaf Mule on YouTube has a compilation of all the kills in this game.
Want a free satellite dish?
God willing.
Free beer. Who wants a cold one?
You could shut your brain off and play this game, you know? That is a positive trait.
What's
Yep.
it called again? Nature? Careful, I'm wearing mohair.
Is that it? Did it freeze?
Did we crash the... Well, I mean, you did blow him the fuck up, so I guess what did you expect?
Yeah, I guess we got exactly what we asked for. Seemed like it hung on that. I think there's supposed to be, like, you know, you see, like, the debris, the remains of the guy, but, Beauty of CD loading, folks. Take a look at those credits, why don't we? Maybe we see some of the other hunters we missed out on. Based on a concept by Jeff Siegel, who's also executive producer, by the way. So, you know, just quick thoughts on this one, because, you know, we're done with this game. Yeah, very basic, but that's what sold at the time. That's what people were in the market for. This went on to sell, like, a decent number of units. I can't remember if it hit 1 million itself. It was the top of the Walmart top sellers list for a period of time. And we'll get into that when we get into the history, actually. I shouldn't bury the lead here. But yeah, this game set out what it accomplished to do, which wasn't much. Admittedly, it avenged. There was a deer involved, and you know, it was a vehicle for Brian McCann to get his voice out there and to, you know, it was a role. He got paid. People got paid for this game. It was made in 90 days' time, probably less than that.
And Conan played this game. And
oh, Brian Stack did write on this game? Or no, he did voice in this game. I didn't realize that Brian Stack, who I shouted out earlier, also John Glaser. I wonder who Brian fucking Stack is in this game.
All right, before we leave this, I just wanted to point out that this entire time I've been looking at this going like, that is a caricature of Bill Gates right there. That is like a 90s caricature of Bill Gates we're looking at.
No, Biff. His name is Biff, you see.
No,
Bill.
guy on the main menu.
I think this is the same guy. I think this is meant to be.
Well, he's gray-haired.
Okay, fair point.
This guy's brown-haired.
But yeah, that was Deer Avenger the First. There's room to build on that, to be sure. There is a foundation there. But let's get back to...
I could also, like, just look from looking at that first game, I can see the through line from that to Chicken Shoot.
Yes. Yes, very much yes. Let's get to some more of that context. So let's see how Deer Avenger did in the markets. This is the back of the box, by the way. Heads up, hunters. This deer is packing heat. Evidently, The original Deer Avenger had proven a success for Hypnotics and Simon & Schuster, ironically becoming a top-selling software title at Walmart, much the same as Deer Hunter before it. GameSpot did a spot of reporting on December 14th, 1998, just 2 months out from release. Simon & Schuster Interactive's Deer Avenger has taken the top-seeded position as the top-selling software title at Bubba-friendly Walmart. Ugh. The title is a spoof on the popular Deer Hunter series of titles, where Deer gets behind the weapons to take out unsuspecting hunters. Deer Avenger did well enough to land on the top 10 game charts in the United States in late 1998 and slot at number 10 of PC Data's bestsellers list for all of 1999, posting 343,756 units sold by that moment in time. But there's more to it than just sales data here, in that Deer Avenger was managing the feat of pissing off the hunting community, who felt personally attacked and insulted by the contents of the game. Here is a page from Field and Stream magazine. We'll get to this in a minute. Before we get to that, I have a quote from London's The Observer, which I will link to here, an article titled Getting Hunters Up in Arms, written by Jim McClellan for their March 14th, 1999 issue. This is going to be me quoting that. Protests about video games. Wait, this is actually a British article, so I should give the right accent. Oi, Gov! Protests about video games tend to involve concerned parents. That's enough of that. And to center on games that see 12-year-olds ripping off the heads of zombies. But the current fuss about the comedy game Deer Avenger, published in America by Simon & Schuster Interactive, is different. The people up in arms are the deer hunters of America, who claim that the game makes them out to be stupid and fails to register the respect they have for the environment. Though Deer Avenger seems too cartoony and scattershot really to upset anyone, it also targets yuppies and environmental activists, hunters are apparently deeply hurt. On his Hunting Trail website, www.thehuntingtrail.com, look in the Campfire Articles section. I'm assuming that site's long fucking dead. Chris Draper complains that the game makes hunters look like beer-drinking, womanizing idiots, and he is trying to organize a boycott of Simon & Schuster. Deer Avenger writer Brian McCann, a scriptwriter for Conan O'Brien, a scriptwriter on Conan O'Brien's chat show. Come on, Brits. Is skeptical. Most of these protests come from people who haven't played the game and only know about it from the internet. It's supposed to be a comedy. The game's British distributor, GT Interactive, refuses to respond to suggestions that it might have more success if it came up with a game called Fox Hunter. Perhaps there wouldn't be a big enough market for it, though. Though a game along the lines of Fox Avenger might well have legs. It would be a game in which a fox goes after the inbred aristocracy, McCann muses. You know, that could be a great game.
Up next is our playthrough of Fox Avenger.
Yes, finally. Which brings us to more on the outrage, which, to be clear, Simon & Schuster was doing their damnedest to stoke, because, like, what's his name said earlier, like, Jeff Siegel said earlier that, there's no better promotion than people saying, don't buy this game. So this is from Field and Stream magazine's May 1999 issue. This is, of course, a hunted and fishing magazine. This is a quote. In the top right corner, you see words heard. Contributor Doug Pike got this snippet from Walter Walker, a vice president in charge of sales and marketing for Simon & Schuster in New York, quoted in the Los Angeles Times regarding hunters' emailed complaints about the company's Deer Avenger game, a spoof released last fall on CD-ROM, and to quote, "Our first notion was to make these guys a gift of a dictionary because not many of them can write." So very classy stuff coming from Simon & Schuster, a book publishing company, trying to encourage the written word, trying to encourage people to read. So again, just real classy stuff. But I mean, you play the game. That kind of marketing worked, or kind of anti-marketing, that kind of deliberately stoking the flames to get people outraged. Absolutely killed back then, and it still does to an extent these days. So yeah, fair play, I guess. Which brings us to Deer Avenger 2, Deer in the City, released September 16th, 1999, because that first Deer Avenger was successful, so a sequel had to be incoming, a sequel to the best-selling parody.
I mean, they promised it in the game itself.
They did. So. They, like I said, called their shot. This game returns to Hypnotics' rail shooting roots. The sequel, I think, reflects an effort to establish Deer Avenger as a franchise distinct from Deer Hunter, and to build up Bambo as a mascot character. To this end, They kept McCann on payroll as a writer and performer, and gave him a gracious opportunity to get some of his comedy friends paid, which any comedy writer will leap at the opportunity to do. This is from a May 2022 interview conducted by Screen Rant, conducted with Mike Taramaikan, the CEO and founder of Hype Games and original producer at Hypnotics. This interview was conducted by Devin McClure. To quote Mike, "We did a game called Deer Avenger, where the writer that we used to write all the jokes was a guy named Brian McCann, who was one of the writers on the Conan O'Brien show. He had a show on NBC, and we needed to do voiceovers. I said, 'Do you have any friends?' And he was like, 'Yeah, I'll invite some friends to come in and record the script.' We paid everybody $200 or $250 to come around and record, and it was a whole bunch of people, including Amy Poehler and Tina Fey for Deer Avenger 2. There is some voices you will recognize in this game. So why not get to the game at this point? Let's get to Deer Avenger 2, which means opening this back up. I'm going to switch the discs out in this virtual machine. Even though, again, I do have these real discs on hand. And like I said, this game, markedly different. This game, immediately, you will notice some differences. But we do have an intro we still have to get through. Quite a long one at that. Oh, cool. My drink just... I had a Monster Energy and it just fizzed up, even though I didn't shake it or anything. That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Looks like I might get a little whitetail tonight.
Again, classy stuff, these games.
Is someone with a gun just watching all this happen?
This is how you save on some precious compression data. If you just crop off the edges of the...
Look out, baby!
Now, crop that logo so it actually fits in the scope.
Welcome. Before we begin, there are a few issues we feel compelled...
Oh, legal disclaimer. Okay, we gotta listen to this.
Rest assured that no cartoon characters were harmed in the making of Deer Avenger 2. Although it appears that various characters die, or more correctly are tranquilized with very powerful animal tranquilizers, this is not the case. In truth, these characters are acting. This is a game, remember. Secondly, some of you out there might feel that our main character is unjustly taking up arms against his enemy.
No, perish the thought.
Condone such behavior by Deer in real life. We want you to understand his motivation. After all, none of this would have happened if he had just been left alone to have his good time on a Saturday night. That's all, just a little fluff in time for mating season. The next thing you know, bam! Dough everywhere! And
Is this funny?
echo of an obnoxious Yahoo!
Are you laughing, Charky?
Reminding him of every orange-clad shotgun-toting hunter he had ever run from in his life. And there
Sorry, I had my mic on mute. I was laughing.
Very good.
body of the doe he loved, and the thought that the last thing to enter her mind wasn't him, but a damn headlight, or maybe even a front tire. And not only that, but did you get a look at her? I mean, it's not like I'm into that sort of thing, but she was hot, and I'm just saying, you know, like in a natural one of God.
You tell me there's not a bunch of like furry fan art for this? There's not a bunch of entries on E621 for Bambo and...
Deer Avenger 2 in the lighthearted
I mean, he was talking about the other deer.
kind of way we intended it. But in case we accidentally offend some of you, we still want you to feel satisfied with the purchase of this product. Thank you for your patronage.
Alright, so we can play Deer Avenger 2 and take our chances, or we can play a suitable alternative guaranteed not to offend anyone.
Well, if there's one thing Bat Game Hall of Fame is known for, it's not offending anyone.
This just loops. This is basically just a screensaver. And in fact, I think you could actually get this off the disc and run it as a screensaver.
I always felt the screensavers that had like static elements like this were the dumbest idea.
Yes. Alright, we can
I remember hearing a story like back in the day of like someone saying that they got their daughter a
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Oh, I was just waiting for the beat to drop. Anyway, someone saying that they got their daughter a Little Mermaid screensaver, and after that, the Little Mermaid was just burned into the monitor on the bottom of their screen.
Naturally. All right, choose a weapon. These are all tranquilizer guns.
Baby could tranquilize a rhino.
Double barrel shotgun.
This shoots more tranquilizer darts in one round than the Rolling Stones use on an entire tour.
Rem 16, I guess a take on an M16. And the Snoozy.
Shoots straight, hits 'em hard, knocks 'em out. Perfect for today's vengeful, horny deer.
We'll see. We'll try some of these.
Hits 'em
Yeah.
3 levels to pick from. You have free choice.
freaks, geeks, and women. A suburban wasteland and a hunter's hideaway.
Let's start with the first. Let's start with the Armpit Estates. We'll go through each of these levels. I don't know if I can beat these levels. Because think about this game. This game is ridiculously fucking hard. Like, really. Like, legitimately. I am a rail shooter expert. I don't know if I can beat these levels on stream. There's no difficulty mode. There's no select here.
You need one of those light guns they sell for PCs.
All the SUVs, big screen TVs, and firearms still don't make up for that one fumble in the big game against Central.
Alright, your mission. Get Zeke. First, use your tranquilizer gun to neutralize everyone. Only then will this wussy Zeke appear. Then put him to sleep and drag him to his ungodly fate. To duck, because you have to take cover in this game. Shift key. To fart.
Oh, it's a time crisis.
Zeke. Yes. Sort of. Extra weapon, hold down Z for longer for more powerful farts. To restore health, shoot a salt shaker to restore 40% health a piece.
Action! Reload! Fart! Fart!
So this is this game. It's similar,
Come and get it.
except there's actual environmental interactivity here.
Not come from.
But hey, that through line I mentioned, the chicken shoot.
No, absolutely. It's legit. It's real. They do love to run in this game.
I'm fully armed.
Were you in that Metallica?
Damn.
Thank you, Pentium.
Got hit a couple times there.
Life like death scene.
Oh, you send him to Timbuktu.
Damage is unavoidable at a certain point.
It stings.
Let's do a fart from behind cover.
Then
What is that doing for you?
Damage. It does direct
Oh,
damage
okay.
to them, so I can do that from behind cover and still manage to damage people. The problem is
Right,
that it
there's-
takes forever to recharge.
Yeah, I was about to ask if it recharges at all.
If you check that meter in
It
the
is-
bottom right corner, it does fill
Oh,
out
now
like
it
a
does.
clock.
It does it in
this vengeance stuff is cool.
it doesn't do it smoothly. It just like pops in.
No,
new
it does it
pieces
in
after a while.
chunks.
Hello.
So immediately, I would say that this is an improvement.
Doggy.
It's
It's more engaging.
It is more of a video game. There is a challenge,
Because I'm a bad shot.
maybe more challenge than was necessary. I could argue.
It is perhaps lost the plot from the parody it was meant to be, but that might not be a bad thing.
No, at this point they're branching out. They're trying something unique. They wanted Bambo to stand alone. They wanted Bambo to be their character, something that they could put in like various other games. You know that could.
Something that would be in Smash someday.
Yeah, God willing. Come on, Nintendo. Where's it at?
State-of-the-art technology.
Bambo!
Floating point calculations brought you that.
What was he talking about, this nerd shit? What was he saying?
They make a lot of jokes about like Pentiums and you know silicon graphics to bring you this and.
he was talking about floating point calculations.
Delaying the delivery of milk.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
usually I gotta see a video on like Mario 64 if I'm gonna hear that shit.
Let me tell you something about backwards fart presses in this game. I don't know. I got nothing.
Backwards wet farts, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, there we go.
Which I think is an enema.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, wait.
What if you went the other way and tried to cut him off at the pass?
Wake up.
No, he stopped.
Bend yourself. Oh, that's gonna stain.
Yup, time for my mid-afternoon between coffee breaks. Break.
All right, so he's gone for now. We have to wait for him to come
Alright.
back out. We're already low on
I
health.
assume this just loops around in a circle.
Yes, much the same as in the first game.
Yeah.
Yup, just staying up another...
That's for all roadkill.
Okay. Do we still have a target left?
Now, I'll ask you as someone who has played this game,
Yes.
would you say that any one weapon has an advantage over the other?
I think they're all bad in their own ways. They're all challenging in their own ways. I guess I need to go through them all and figure out which one is actually like decent, if any.
Well, we got 3 levels and we got 3 weapons, so...
Where are you gonna pop out from, lady? I think you're the last one before the garage door opens and I have to face the boss.
Ooh, I'm not into humanality, but damn, she's hot.
Staying
Ambo, that's
classy.
disgusting.
Yeah, how dare he? Alright, here we go. Boss time. And they hit hard, and I think we used up our healing items, so...
Why can't you just stay in the woods? Hey, who wants a piece of me?
Oh, I didn't know you could charge up your farts.
Yes, I whiffed that one, though.
Leave a mark. Ow! Next time I'll slam the Jeep into you.
Where'd you go? They could also shoot me from, like, slightly off-screen. Oh.
What's the matter? You tired?
So what you could do here, what is probably the way you're meant to do this, is to sit here
Do you hear?
and wait
What's the matter?
for the fart to charge.
Oh. A proper deer hunting game. You have to sit and wait.
I mean, yeah. I guess it's staying true to its hunting roots.
Slime Generator asks, is this the horniest Deer Avenger game, or are there hornier yet to come?
4 might have a hornier moment in it. I'm sick of the waiting.
Maybe you should play solitaire.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, so I lost that one. We're not going to replay that level. We're going to move on to the next one. We're going to change... Was I using the Snoozy or was I using the Rem 16?
This shoots more.
Uh-oh. Folks, we're using the Snoozy, we're using... Why don't you pick the Dreamweaver for now? And then...
in one round than the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you pick the... Alright, you pick the M16, because he has said the Rolling Stones line.
Hunters.
I mean, we went through all the
Right.
lines. I think we did Snoozy.
It's time some people
Yeah, okay.
fired.
All right, let's go to the business district.
Well, this guy owns a telemarketing company. Clearly, he's a servant of Satan and deserves no mercy.
Yeah, believe that. All right. 7 zombie office workers, a window washer, and a SWAT guy. They say we have to expect, to look forward to in this stage. Again, a lot of interactable goodies in this, which isn't the hardest thing to do, really. When, you know, it's just like, click on this to produce this effect.
Take that, you're dead.
I think
I feel
the
like a
advantage...
shotgun should be doing more damage.
Well, ultimately, the good thing about it is the spread. The good thing about it is that we can be slightly off-center and still hit. Which is worth its weight in gold in this game, where enemies are spending half the time running away from you, you know?
What the f are you?
Hey, is it lunchtime?
Oh, I accidentally wasted the salt shaker. That's not good.
Die, mother die!
That's gonna be bad, actually. It's gonna actually be very bad.
Oh, that's gotta stick.
Using farts to attack 2 people at once.
Hey, my contract didn't say anything about live amp.
Let's see if I can hit him without getting out from cover, so we don't have to hear any more of his voice lines.
Ooh, time.
Nope, ran out.
Oh, you're out.
Okay, watch the face.
Hey!
I saved the Rhino tranquilizer for you. Deer Avenger 3 better be a porno.
See, Deer Avenger 3 is going to be a porno. They're calling their shot again,
Yep.
so I guess 3 is the horniest one. We will get to that.
I hate my life.
Like, okay. So, obviously, is this a game of high craft? No. Could you have just as easily made this in Flash at a certain moment in
Yes.
time and, like, posted to newgrounds.com? under the Assassin series or whatever, yeah. But for like 20 bucks, if you are a disgruntled office worker looking to kill time on the clock and Tetris ain't cutting it anymore, this is fine. And, you know, legitimately challenging. Takes some amount of skill and practice and learning to win at this. And, you know, does that give it merit? No, not necessarily.
But it's sold a lot, so that's all that matters.
It's sold decently, and I don't know. It's a rail shooter. I like my rail shooters. This isn't a good one. I like it conceptually. I think it was a smart move.
My dad and he hit your girlfriend.
We argue a lot about genres, but I don't know if I would call this a rail shooter, considering you're stuck in one place and all you can do is like
okay, yeah. So more accurately, it's a gallery shooter. I like using.
What the fuck is happening?
I think Bambo cloned himself to do that animation there.
Chicken?
Yeah, a gallery shooter, I think, would be,
I got real bullets.
I mean, this feels like it should be a boss character.
You would think so, but... Oh! Another salt shaker, so I have one more. So, or I guess that was the extra one. So I guess I do have at least a little more health, which is good, because boss incoming...
Ow!
After, like, what? This dude, then two more. I have to finish off the clown, and I have to finish off the SWAT guy.
Sorry.
Oh, saving them for later?
Nobody's
No, they run away like the hunters in the first game, right? Like, so, you know, after a while, if you don't kill them immediately, they go into hiding, and you have to keep going around the screen until they decide to pop up, like there.
Tiger Chimera says the speedrun categories for the original game are around a minute or less for runs, which makes me think they're single kill categories, not full trophy wall ones.
Yeah,
I have to imagine that speedruns for that game, specifically that first game, must look like speedruns for Clue, where you just load the game
and hope it's the right. Yeah.
And hope it's like immediately there.
Did I get the SWAT guy? No, because that door would open if I had the SWAT guy already. Our health is very low, though.
I feel like I could probably learn the speedrun for Clue.
It's not a tricky one.
No. I like having back pocket speedruns, so...
Getting closer to victory.
Okay, here we go. Show yourself.
What?
Hello? Anyone? There we go.
To work out. I'm gonna kick your sorry white-tailed ass.
I will go back to a previous comment that they made, which is the speedrun of this game is 1 hour and 20 minutes.
I imagine most of it is spent behind cover, waiting for the fart street charge, because it's the only viable move against some of these bosses. Because they just shoot so quickly. Like, if this had the time crisis, like, you know, like the circle that, like, closes in, or, like, you know, the warning or whatever, that'd be one thing. But the fact that they just, like, you know, fire intermittently. Yep.
The concept of them being able to miss a shot. Rather than if you're peeked up...
I pressed the Windows key by accident. I might actually get this guy. There, I used my fart on that. It was worth it. If I can just get him a couple more times...
Wowzers.
Come on. Peek your head out. Come on.
Easy does it.
Shit. They can pop
I'm
up
really
randomly.
invested in this now.
There we go. I got one.
What I would have loved is if... Well, hold on.
You wish to save your progress? Okay. Absolutely.
I would have loved if, like, when you kill, when you tranquilized that last guy, it would have done like a Max Payne 1 thing, where like it just zooms in, like, it suddenly just goes to a 3D model of him zoomed in, going like, oh, as he falls down and spins around him.
360 camera spins around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cheeks.
All right, one last stage.
Okay, so you did Snoozy already.
This stud.
Oh, they're not gonna let me pick my gun. I guess the run is dictated by what gun you pick.
Oh, okay.
And women with multiple cheeks.
Well, whatever. That shotgun seemed pretty
Yeah.
good. I think that might be my most
I
effective
mean,
weapon.
how much different could it be? It's the question.
Well, the shotgun has to reload after every shot, so it has a very slow fire rate, but it has such good spread. So, you know, they are mechanically different. Like I said, that Soldier Boys game they made, where every character has different guns that like fire like very differently. They have different crosshairs and damage values and stuff. They had some ideas at Hypnotics. All right, let's do some property damage.
Deer loves salt.
I like this backdrop.
You're wearing a diaper, aren't
Is that
What
Mad
aspect
Dog
of it?
beer?
We'll
Oh,
look
I
in
just-
a second.
you? Sleep well.
What aspect of it? Oh, Dead Dog. Okay, weird. I was just gonna say that, you know, it's busy. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Yes, and a lot of stuff to interact with, for that matter.
Yeah.
Now, this drunk guy, his aim's not good.
K4 Boom said, also, when they said Ungodly Fate, I thought they'd show what he'd do to it. I bet you if you kill all 3 hunters...
Yes, there's an ending to the game.
We have
Yeah.
to find the answer by
Val
ourselves.
Tango 9, Redeem, say something nice. Guess what, buddy? I just did. But unless Cass, do you want to say something nice?
Not right now, because they have the racist Asian caricature on screen with his camera, and...
Anything about live ammo?
So once I take care of this...
Vengeance will soon be mine.
Oy vey. Now I still don't want to say something nice because of this stupid shit, because of...
I know it's not profound.
Log of Eternal Stencil.
Salt. Why don't you meet my little...
I think you might be misreading that slightly.
I think they might need to pick a better font.
I should shoot back.
Where'd he go?
It's white. It's iodized. It's salt.
Well, I see 3 salt shakers, so that's good. Well, plenty of health to work with, at the very least.
So the backdrop is good, but this is the worst level.
In terms of, like, the content, in terms of, like, the
Yeah.
people that we're fighting. Yeah. Arguably.
Hey, check out the set of tires on that rig.
What was that? What did that even mean?
He was looking at, like,
What
a
did
truck
you-
magazine. He was commenting on it like it was a porno
Oh.
magazine. Because for Rednecks. Get it? You get it, Charkie? Hilarious. Say something nice about this.
With that.
I don't know. I like a rail shooter. I think this is a novel direction. I think it was the right move to diversify what this franchise. If they wanted to be a franchise, I think it was a wise idea to get into a genre outside of just the straight up hunting game, because that was going to get stale immediately. You know, like if they just released an iterative version of that first game, they added like some more guns, but it was still mechanically the same.
I'm fully aware of what I'm doing.
Would have been pretty rough,
Can't you see?
to say the least.
Oh, God. I am a stud.
I think we have to use all the salt shakers already, and I'm going to drink up real quick while I still can.
Oh, dear.
Oh, I didn't finish this guy off before, did I?
Just a little tranquilizer dart to put you in La La Land.
That was
cute.
kind of a funny.
Yeah, it's I almost smiled, which is the highest mark of comedy in the Cassidy playbook. All right, we're still waiting on people to show up. There's still more people to shoot.
All right. So I had asked you if you'd played any of the like Deer Avenger games, not Avenger, Deer Hunter games. Have you played any of those like arcade ones?
Big Buck Hunter, yes.
Yeah.
We have some slides on that. Those
okay.
games are interesting. I'm fascinated by them and the competitive scene around them. Because
Gotta
Big
say,
Buck
I've never
Hunter has a
played it.
competitive scene, believe it or not.
Oh, that and Golden Tee, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Those games kill with like a certain market.
The people who go to bowling alleys, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, God bless them. They need shit to play. They need something to do between like their lanes and whatnot. Like, I don't begrudge the fact that people are making games for these markets, for these underserved markets. Everyone deserves to have an inroads into gaming, right? Like, you know, everyone should be catered to in some form or fashion, you would think.
Yeah.
That's not like, you know, a complete, like, deplorable, like, scumbag. Like, you know, maybe Nazis don't deserve games, right? But, like, you know, whatever. Like, I've spent time, I've lived with people who have self-identified as rednecks. I have been known to have a bit of a redneck from time to time. I've built some chicken coops in my time. I've done some of the manual labor. I've lived with truckers and cowboys. And I fancy myself a cowpoke.
I'm a suburbanite, but I know that shit's still in my blood.
Like, on some level, like, you know, you can say what you will about hunting. And, you know, I'm obviously not, like, you know, super... I'm not eager to go out there and, well, get killed. You know, I'm not eager to go out there and go hunting. It's not my cup of tea. But, like, you know, dudes who do it, like, you know, and, like, legitimately, like, care about conservation, who care about, like, you know, like, reducing, like, overpopulation, balancing the herd and whatnot, who are making use of, you know, the animals they fell, like, whatever.
Making VHS is about exploding environments.
Yes, no, that's clearly the highest form of art. That's going to do it for Deer Avenger 2, by the way. But I am going to linger on the screen. Well, is there a credit screen? Can I get credits? Oh, I think if we do exit, it'll actually show credits. Yep, there we go. I'll come back to me. To make games for them, like the Deer Hunters and Big Buck Hunters and Cabela's and whatnot, I think it's fair. If that's someone's inroads into gaming, if they impulse buy a game that has hunting on the cover and that compels them to pick up a console and their peripherals and whatever... Jesus wept. Are we gonna get demonetized for that? I don't know. And so, like, you know, this is a natural response. This is, you know, these Deer Avenger games being the response to that, being the answer to that, the parody of that. I think is also fair. And, you know, I also think that if you are someone who self-identifies as a redneck, in, you know, the year of our Lord, 2024, or even back in 1998. I mean, what is, like, the Blue Collar Comedy Tour? What is Jeff Foxworthy's entire fucking set? You might be a redneck if... Right? So you would assume that rednecks would have some sense of humor about themselves. And I think most do. I think most did. I think these games, you know, for as much as there were people popping up on CNN or wherever on C-SPAN with a copy of the game being like, don't buy this, boycott Simon & Schuster. I like to think that most people who would, like, you know, be hunters or whatever, who would be, like, in the market for a deer hunter,
I hated those credits.
This. Yeah, so did I. But, you know, I think they would appreciate this game on some sort of level. Would be like, all right, that's kind of amusing. I do think, like, the point you made earlier, I think most of them would be just like, all right, that's mildly amusing. They can look inwards. They can poke some fun at themselves. You know, so...
Yeah, I mean, that's the entire... Like, you mentioned Jeff Foxworthy, but that's the entirety of Jeff Foxworthy's bit is like, yeah, that's me, all right.
So, you know, as far as these games are concerned, like, the humor really doesn't age well in these. I think conceptually it's funny. I think someone could write a funny Deer Avenger type game, could write a funny, like, you know, animal turns the tables on people. We still have so many games to get through, though, so we'll see how they continue to evolve on this premise as they move into the new era. First things first, though, take a look at this fucking thing. I never knew this existed until I did the research for this. This is a Deer Avenger 2 portable LCD game.
Oh, they totally sold this like at a Cabela's or something.
I remember having a Deer Hunter one of these, like original Deer Hunter, where it was like an LCD screen. It was the handheld was like a hunting rifle, and the game you played through the scope and on the LCD screen. So there was an LCD screen like built into the stock, and then when you got close to a deer on the map that you would wander around, you would look in the scope and you'd have to play like a timing minigame to pull the trigger. It even had a full bolt action where you had to operate the bolt action to load shots after every shot. And I played a lot of that stupid thing.
There was a fish in one of those kind of things I always wanted, but never got.
Well, we'll be getting to fishing in just a minute, by the way. So calling a shot yourself here. Anyway, I just saw this. I thought it was neat. I would like this. I would hold on to this if someone if someone's selling this on eBay right now. I might be tempted. This is a fun piece of kitsch. So Hypnotics, they got to work with the success of Deer Avenger. They got brought on to do a number of games, mostly on behalf of Simon & Schuster, and mostly not very good.
Cass, you said if anyone's selling on eBay, are you like $80 tempted to get it?
Maybe
That's
not.
the going
Maybe
price.
50 or
Yeah.
maybe 50 or less. I'm gonna wait for 50 or less.
All right.
So Hypnotics got up to some business. You know, Deer Avenger kind of turned their fortunes around, and they were commissioned to develop such games as Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Brat Attack, Miss Spider's Tea Party, World War II GI. They didn't make that. I think they did conversion work, maybe like the Mac version of that. Jagged Alliance 2, again, not lead devs. Might and Magic 7 for Blood and Honor. Yes, they did a few Might and Magic games. Crusaders of Might and Magic. They did Army Men, Sarge's Heroes. I think that's a conversion. I think, again, like, the credits here are sort of misleading in the way that credits often are. But then we get into Who Wants to Beat Up a Millionaire? A parody of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Came out across Windows and Dreamcast. And Panty Raider, From Here to Immaturity, which I think is like a even lower rent, like Leisure Suit Larry. So they were mostly committed to the parody lifestyle at this point. Whether that was by their choice or by Simon & Schuster's, whether they, signed up for this fate or not, who's to say? These people need to be interviewed specifically about this period of time, I think. That'd be a fascinating interview. But yeah, the comedy game minds. You hate to land in it. It's hard to crawl your way back out of that. Now, speaking of comedy games, speaking of bad parody... Oh, is my slide not showing here? That's awesome. This is supposed to be the box art for Deer's Revenge. You know, in fact, I'm gonna force this to show up. Give me a second here. Will this work? There we go. Okay. We played this on the Parody Game Parade. You may remember. This is a parody of the smash hit Deer Hunter. This came out in 1999. This was developed by Snarfblatt Software on behalf of ValueSoft, which was, the THQ Value label. And now that do you remember, we played this game a little bit on that stream? You remember how this game is just exactly Deer Avenger? It is literally just Deer Avenger.
I honestly don't remember playing this game during the parody stream.
Do you remember when we played Deer Avenger earlier in the night, the first one?
Yes.
That's Deer's Revenge. So, at this point, you could call this lateral thinking. You could call this what it is, which is them ripping off Deer Avenger, making a value version of this already Value software, a parody of a parody. Just the Ouroboros here is... Ugh. The bad comedy Ouroboros. Anyway, game came out after Deer Avenger 2, and was still playing by that first game's playbook. You could also say that, it's just, it's less a version of Deer Avenger as it is a version of Deer Hunter, because again, the first Deer Avenger, what is that if not just like a reskin of Deer Hunter? So, I don't know. I just wanted to show this because it sucks! Not to say Deer Avenger is much better, but this is somehow even worse, from my recollection. Are none of my slides going to work from here on out? Am I going to have to manually load each of these images? That's awesome if so. Okay, here's what I wanted to get to. Here's the next game we're going to play tonight. This is the year 2000. Hypnotics and Simon & Schuster attempted to expand their burgeoning Avenger line into the world of fishing with their title Bass Avenger. This one has no involvement from Brian McCann, no writing or voice acting. Instead, the protagonist is voiced by one Julian I want to get this right. Reboledo, who has gone on to become a successful voice actor for games and animation, including the role, people will probably recognize him as Raul Passos in Max Payne 3, if you are a fan of that game. So we're going to play this one because this is, an Avenger line game. So it fits in with the theme and with the ideas we're sort of trafficking that Hypnotics was trying to push. And, you know, maybe if this had been successful, I don't think this game was. I don't think this particular entry was successful. I don't think it hit quite in the same way that Deer Avenger did. But, you know, who's to say what would have come next? What other hunting games they could have come out with, or sports games? You know, like, you know, hunting sports. What's the word for that? Stuff like fishing and...
Yeah. They could have made Clay Pigeon Avengers.
Yeah, the Clay Pigeons fire back.
Yeah.
I like it. There's a future for you in writing video games, Charky.
Well, first I need to get a job with Jay Leno or something.
Yeah, that'll really get your comedy chops sharpened.
Is he still doing? Is he still like holding on to that show, or did?
God, I hope
that
not.
Jimmy
I hope
Fallon
he's not
now?
on TV. I hope he's dead.
I think the moment. That's fair. I think the moment.
I caught myself off guard with that one.
The moment that Jay Leno like took the show from Conan, he was like, you know what, mine again. Like, I just stopped watching any sort of late night TV. So I don't know what the fuck that scene is like now. I just know Jimmy Fallon's out there.
Fucking
Jimmy Fallon's
dire.
out there, like promoting NFTs and going. Ah!
That's a very accurate impression. You need to chuckle some more though. You need to laugh at your own jokes.
Ooh, 3D. I just want to quick.
I don't think you're gonna miss anything. Whatever you want to do.
Just creatively take a screenshot and crop something. That'll live in the
Discord
the
server.
Discord
Thank you.
server.
Oh.
Set sail and kick some ass.
All right, so I think the intro cut off a little bit there, needless to say, and now we've heard the voice of our Bass Avenger. I don't know what.
Fresh water start.
I think he's trying to do some sort of impression of like a mobster or something. I don't know.
Like the Godfather or something, almost.
Yeah, like a Marlon Brando. Like he's trying to do.
Yeah.
What?
Let's go Marlon Brando. Get it, like the fish.
Yeah.
K4 Boom says like Peter Lorre. Like maybe. Let's just do a quick trip. Let's just do the quickest possible because I don't really want to play this game for particularly long. I will do it on medium though. 2 maps in this game. A step down from Deer Avenger. We've gone
Lake
from 3 to 2.
Drink and Lake Okay Choke Me.
I like the snow, so let's do it in the snow.
What do you say we swim around the lake and see what we can find? Well.
Oh, there we go.
Looks like we got a little bug.
This is admittedly a lot more streamlined. All you just need to click around, and then when you are over something that is relevant, when there are fishermen nearby, this radar will ping. Also, you may notice the music here, which I think is just lifted from the first Deer Avenger. I think it's reused in later Deer Avenger games as well. I don't think this was a particularly high-budget affair, to say the least. Alright, so we scroll around the screen, we find the fisherman.
Alright, let me know if you see the fisherman.
Do you see him? Very good! I was doing like a children's TV show, like a Dora.
With a bad attitude.
So you go through your different baits here,
Marlon.
trying to find one that'll be particularly relevant to this,
From the oh so tasteful.
to the fisherman on screen.
I love that game.
I don't think they're super selective.
Hello?
Hopefully this pizza will do the trick.
Nod if you can hear me. I'm just saying.
Let's hear what one of his calls sounds like. Let's hear one of these brilliant one-liners.
Get your free VD screening! Finally. Now we might see a little action around here.
Your free Veterans Day screening.
He sees it, but will he go for it?
We're teasing it out.
That's the question.
All right, and we got him on the hook. And this is a game that is played entirely with the mouse, so I'm clicking to maintain the meter, trying to keep it in the yellow. If it goes too hard, it snaps.
You mother I'm gonna kill you.
Look at the size of this fella. How does he wipe his own butt?
Good question. So
Do
we
you
stuff
do
them or
it-
toss them.
Do you do it while you're sitting, or do you stand up?
So if we stuff them, that ends the hunt. You're obviously going for the highest, weight in the same way that, a fish. You go for like the heavier, the biggest fish possible. If we toss them, we continue to fish. If we stuff them, I think it takes us directly...
The loot of a bass murderer.
So, like, do you have any idea of what the max weight in a certain area is going to be, or do you just have to go like, well, maybe it could be heavier? No, you're still going here.
Okay,
You're
we
still
are still going here. I misremembered.
Yeah, because that wouldn't make sense to just end the entire hunt.
Well, that's how Deer Avenger 1 did it. As soon as you got one, it took you back to the main menu, and it mounted the trophy, and then you...
I bet it's like you can catch that specific breed of guy again.
Yeah.
And then you can see, like, what does he weigh? Do I want to stuff him or toss him?
The locals here might not know what this is, but they'll still be interested.
Alright, what do you think this lady will like?
Let's get the road placed on...
God, I feel like whatever I say would speak badly.
Yeah, let's just toss some... a bra.
Double D for double deadly.
Maybe she needs a bra.
Really?
Maybe she's...
You're thinking of utility and not temptation.
Hey, this...
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Oh, what's really shitty about this, by the way, is that, you scroll in all directions. Let's say you want to access the heads-up display. What?
Yeah.
No, what? So you have to be very quick about that. That could be a little more intuitive. Let's hear another one-liner.
And who? Hey, state's playing Central. Who wants to listen to the big game? Not too shabby.
A little closer. I don't want to pull it in, because that might scare them off. Let's try one more one-liner.
This bait's so good, they should call it jailbait. Oh, who writes these? Here we go.
Ay, ay, ay.
Now everything's gonna fall into place.
Okay. Much the same process as before. This game is definitely the most simple of all these games. Even more simple than the Gallery Rail Shooter. Even more simple than Deer Avenger 2. And I don't know, this one doesn't do it for me. At least it's quick. At least it's streamlined. At least it doesn't waste much of your time. At least you can take a quick trip.
Hey, this hook smells like worm guts, and it's making me hungry.
Well, that's fascinating. Even from far away, he looks close up.
Does this pass the spin
What?
test, by the way?
It does, but what the fuck was that comment?
I think
Even
it's a
from far
generic
away, he looks
line.
close.
I don't think they had specific lines for the bass.
Oh, I know, but what was that joke?
I think it's supposed to be like they're large. It's a big that having 260 or 270 is a good number. I've seen things as low as like 50 or 60. So, I guess that depends on who you're trying to catch.
50 or 60, are you catching kids?
No, there's some scrawny motherfuckers in this game. I don't want to play any more of this. What's with this
Yeah, okay.
compass?
That's fair.
Why does this compass even exist?
Just so you know. In case you were wondering about like the lore of this world and which way is north, now you know.
All right, let's see the credits. If I exit,
Yeah, there you go.
do you want to see?
All
Some
right,
of the
show me
credits?
that. Show me that fish ass.
That's me doing a fart noise with my mouth. I'm sure Discord picked that up.
It
Yeah.
did actually.
Very good. I'm glad. Yeah, this is definitely the weakest of the Avenger games, to say the least. It was an attempt, though. Like I said, it's an attempt to cater to a different aspect of the market. Maybe people didn't go in for hunting. Maybe fishing will work. I can't blame him for trying this. I can blame him for the execution being as poor as it is. Like, you don't even get to select, like, I guess you are selecting the bait in terms of, like, those items. Like, it could have stood to have a few more layers of customization, of, like, preparation. Where's the fart in this game? What about fish farts? What about bubbles underneath the surface? Something, right?
I mean, the fart thing is so tenuous at best. I kind of get it in Deer Avenger, but I don't just... we won.
Yeah, I'm close down to the Windows 95 machine. We're going to have to open up the Windows 98 machine in the background, because that's going to be the where we play the next game. But we still have some slides to go through as we're going between games again. If you hear some Windows sounds in the background, No, you didn't. What slide are we up to? This should be number 15?
15.
Slideshow function in OBS still isn't working, so I'm going to have to, again, manually load the next image, which is the cover to our next game, Deer Avenger 3D. By this point in the year 2000, the Deer Hunter franchise had moved into 3D. I think Deer Hunter 2 in 1998 relied on like pseudo 2.5D, and then Deer Hunter 3 in 1999 or 2000 was like the first like proper 3D one. I think it still used like, some sprites, some like billboard effects sort of stuff, but 3D environments. So Hypnotics had to react to this. They had to, if they wanted to continue making these parody games, evolve with the thing that they were primarily franchising, or parodying, I should say, and move Bambo into 3D as well. This came out in the year 2000, as I mentioned. Then there was a planned Sega Dreamcast port that never materialized for this. You may remember Who Wants to Beat Up a Millionaire, which came out across Windows and Dreamcast, and its Dreamcast version was substantively different from the PC version, which is to say that it was rendered in 3D. They put a little more effort into that Dreamcast version. But I think the Deer Avenger 3D that was supposed to come out on Dreamcast, since it was 3D on PC in the first place, it was probably just going to be like a very straightforward port. And actually, there is at least a little bit of information known about this prototype. It was first discovered in 2017. Dreamcast Junkyard reports on in interviews a Reddit user by the name of WonderBread-V2 in May 2017, who tells the story of discovering the Deer Avenger 3D prototype. To quote them, "I actually found it, the Deer Avenger DD, in the basement of a woman's club. They were hosting a garage sale to help out fundraising scholarships for high school seniors. As soon as I reached the shelves with the VHS tapes, I saw it unboxed, just the disc. The disc is a little scratched, but I'm sure it will still run. The game was found in Bergen County, New Jersey, and New Jersey is where Hypnotics Inc. was stationed since 1995. They moved from
in
New
the
York
basement
to
of
New
a
Jersey.
woman's club.
In the basement of a woman's club, that's correct. So, there's a little bit of interesting provenance to this. If it had come out on Dreamcast, it may have moved some units, possibly.
It might have sold some Dreamcasts, yeah.
Someone pointed out the quote on the front cover, which says, "The best game ever made." That is by a quote from Buck Whitetail of the Woodland Gazette, or Grazer. So, joke review. It's a parody game. You're allowed to put joke reviews on the cover of your parody game, I suppose. Let's cut to Windows 98. This is the Windows 98 machine. I need this to be Windows 98 as opposed to Windows 95 because this has some Voodoo emulation. This has 3D rendering stuff. Because this is a 3D
Next-gen
game.
gaming, baby.
Goddamn right. I would have ran this back in the day on a Windows 95 machine. That was not up to the task. And I'm also going to warn that PCEM emulation, not perfect, very system intensive, doing 3D acceleration especially, this is not going to hit its full 30 frames per second. And I tried to run this natively on Windows. I tried throwing DG Voodoo 2 at it. Nothing doing. The only way I've successfully gotten this game to run at the correct speed with audio and so on and so forth is in this environment right here. Let's go ahead and, the resolution options here at least. I'm going to play at 640 by 480. If you go smaller than that, it doesn't scale particularly well. You can turn on low resolution skies. No alpha transparency. That'll save you a few frames. Unfortunately,
website.
In PCEM, I think it does bust some of the textures. Let's see the website. This might be my internet connected PCEM instance. No. Does Google.com work? I'm just checking my own notification here. No.
Nope.
My Windows 95 machine is the one. My Windows 95 PCM machine is the one I set up networking for, so that I can access internet on Internet
See if you could
Explorer.
access Twitter on Windows 98.
If only.
See if it's better.
Can't be any worse. Party time. I think this one's going to have an intro of its own as well. Past these title cards, of course.
Boy, we got to have the Star Wars parody.
Yeah, very
Even
timely
if it doesn't
in the
make
year
sense.
2000. Yeah.
I mean, this was like prequel era, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. No voiceover for this, which I guess, Star Wars didn't have voiceover. Hang on, let's see how fast I can read this. Having vanquished the hunters that ran over his girlfriend in Deer Avenger 2, still available for Simon Schuster Interactive, our hero Bambo prepares to settle down for a little hoof knocking with his beloved. But Bambo, the aforementioned star of Deer Avenger and Deer Avenger 2, both still available for Simon Schuster Interactive, is about to find out that an alcohol-driven, tobacco-fueled redneck heart is a determined one, as he must once again face down the evil forces that want him shot, stuffed, and mounted. Not necessarily in that order. Got that out. We got there.
Didn't she die?
No. In fact, I think there's a movie player in the 4th game, so we can actually see the ending to the 2nd game.
Oh, okay.
A little later in the night. Are you ready for the new and improved Bambo?
Yeah, show me.
Stops moving.
He has shoes now.
Hunting for deer.
Baby, I am back. And all I want right now is you.
I'm gonna adjust the volume a little bit on this.
Deer. I'm hunting deer.
Did she get us there?
Oh boy, I don't feel too good.
Ugh!
Oh my. Is it mating season already?
How graphic is this gonna get? Not very mercifully.
We want to watch. We want to watch.
As long as there are helpless animals suffering,
I don't like her mouth.
I simply can't get in the mood.
Hello, baby. I need a shot. Ah, that was a close one. Man, that was darn
This
dog.
one's for you, baby.
He missed.
Shit, I have hooves. This doesn't work very well.
So we're in 3D now. Maybe Bambo should have stayed in 2D. This model is better than his cutscene model, at least. It's not great. You can literally count the polygons, but, whatever. 2000, developed in 1999.
Glad we're finally getting around to playing Earthworm Jim 3D.
Finally. Took us long enough. Oh, where'd the music go? Okay, well, so much for that music, then. So, we unlock guns. I've already played a little bit of this.
Mm-hmm.
When you start the game, all you have
Nothing fancy, but it gets the job done.
is this. But one of the major innovations in this game is that as you kill hunters, you're not only getting their trophies for your wall, which I will walk over to. Over yonder.
The gods of war have smiled upon me today.
Looks like you've started your reign of terror already.
Yeah, this is just for
Earl.
the winter season. You go through different seasons. These constitute different maps. There's obviously 4 seasons. For whatever reason in emulation.
Spring.
The poster image does an update here.
Renewal.
It did back in the day.
Bust a cap in someone's ass.
Also, let's turn on the frame rate counter. We can keep that running in the top left corner. We can see how this goes. I think if I stand in front of this, it'll play the credits, or it's supposed to play the credits. Clearly that's not working. So, again, not perfectly emulated here in PCEM, but country girls make do. I'm going to take a better gun.
Oh, yeah. Standard issue for kicking ass and taking names.
All right, let's go hunting.
It's showtime.
And this is going to be fully 3D Deer Avenger. This is going to be the next step in the next evolution in technology and hunting game tech.
Anbol is asking if this is tank controls.
Let's see.
At least in that. Well, first of all, at least in that cabin, was that tank controls?
Yes.
It looked like it. Really gotta load this one, huh?
Yeah. Boy, howdy, do you?
You know.
Yes, it is tank controls, by the way.
Okay, FPS counter's gone.
Oh, let me press F again. There we go. We're running at a smooth 20 frames per second when the camera's moving. When it stands still, it might settle at around 30. We can walk. We can run. We can jump.
Ooh.
We can switch to a first-person view when it comes time to do the shooting.
Get significantly better frame rate as a result.
And we can speed strafe.
Oh, does this have any movement tech?
Speed strafing. That's about it. Okay. So they have improved the complexity a little bit.
We'll bring them this way.
You click this to put out your baits.
Cold ones. What red-blooded hunter can resist?
Different baits will attract different hunters. So you can sort of count on who will show up based on the bait you put out. Which is an idea. We have to do a...
Cage says, why must its ass be so prominent and detailed?
Why not?
You know...
Let's, before we do anything, let's hear a one-liner, because this is what we need to do to summon the hunters.
Hey, look! A secret entrance to the Grand Ole Opry.
Very good. Please continue.
Sure. The horniness of this... If this was a game explicitly made by furries, it would not bother me as much. Or at all, I think. The fact that this was almost definitely not made by furries makes this just seem very, very wrong. Like, that's why I balked at, like, the deer in the bikini, because, like, that is not made by someone with any
who truly
in the game.
loves deer in the way that...
Yeah.
So you may notice something about this camera, by the way.
Dear. Come here.
We can't move it.
Come here.
It is behind the back.
Yeah.
And it is not straight behind the back. It is at a canted angle behind the back.
Time to separate the deer?
Yeah,
this is just forward. Now, I do hear a hunter. We can listen for footsteps. Oh, I got him spotted. Let's go ahead, get in range.
Hey! You know how you go hunting for deer, just like running full tilt through the woods?
We can take cover. We can get hit a couple times before we perish.
Doesn't it?
And we got one.
We started Earl again.
This will take us back to broken textures.
Here
on the wall.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Headful says, oh, that skybox is disorienting.
Yeah, there's a lot of disorienting things. I think part of this is emulation, but I also don't think it's that much better in the original product.
I remember you were streaming this in the Discord last night, just like to test out to make sure all the games worked. And you somehow like activated super hot mode.
I activated no textures, where it was just the like the light maps or whatever. It was just like the grayscale.
It did look exactly like super hot though.
It did, yes. Which is, because Super Hot was designed, like, as part of a game jam, and they deliberately, like, for the original demo, went with that look out of, like, necessity for the amount of time they had. Okay. There is some more stuff. There are a few more mechanics to this game. You see these slots here. First of all, let me also say that these maps, big. These maps, large. Your move speed, slow. Let's at least get it started.
What red-blooded hunter can resist?
Let's put out some other bait. Let's see what else we got. Let's see who else we can attract. Cheese Whiz.
And a cheese to lure out the country mouse.
So I picked up the beer can, so I don't want to get Earl again. So hopefully this will bait someone else out.
So I almost bought some Cheese Whiz at the store today because I needed to get some cheese while I was out, and I thought better of it because it was like $5 for a can of not even name brand Cheese Whiz, like store brand Cheese Whiz, $5. And I was like, I could go over to like the cheese aisle and get 2 packs of cheese for $4.
You sure could, but could you spray
and
it?
I did.
Could you make a leaning tower of cheesa out of that sort of cheese?
It would take some effort, but I think I could. But I decided to go with the 2 for $4 instead of $5 for aerosol cheese.
Probably a better deal. Okay. I'm running around the map right now. I'm speed strafing, which is the fastest way to move. You can tell from the footsteps that don't know how to keep up with this move speed. I am looking for any food lying around. Not the stuff I threw out, not the stuff I put out there, but there are 3 different types of food you can eat that produce different types of farts. and each of the farts serves a different purpose. One of them is a radar of sorts that will point you in the direction of where the hunter is coming from. Another, I think, works as a magnet to lure them closer to you, to make them, like, instead of going for the bait, to go for you instead. And I think the last one is a bomb that just does damage to them, like the atomic fart from Deer Avenger 2.
I'd kill for a latte right now.
But I'm not finding any of them.
Is that...
Instead,
was
I
that
accidentally
latte
found a hunter.
comment? Okay.
So I guess I'll kill him.
Take that, you Ozark moron.
Unless we get killed first, because he has a better gun than we do. Because the bow is not very good, as it turns out. You also can't move while it's reloading, which is a problem.
I'm not supposed to die here. I'm supposed to become a senator and then drink myself to death.
Can I get him from a distance?
I think I'm allergic to everything.
I wish we could see what our health is. Do we know how many hit points we have?
Hey, my contract didn't say anything about live ammo.
Well, I guess we didn't have many left.
Suck. But my head's on the wall. How fair is that?
Not very fair at all, Bambo. Okay, let's not take the bow with us. It's a bad weapon. Let's take a scoped rifle, and hopefully I can find some of those fucking... Hold on.
A touch of class for the discerning killer.
Hopefully I can find some of those power-ups.
Raising hell against a beatific arbor backdrop. It's showtime.
DWAP says, or DWAP says, this feels like this game is using a terrible deathmatch mode. If this game had online multiplayer, some shitty like deathmatch, even just like a peer-to-peer, connect directly to IP to play against people, I'd have tried. I'd have gotten on IRC and been like, hey, anyone have Deer Avenger 3D? Is anyone? No, just me? Okay. You guys have fun with your Quake, I guess. Little do they know that Deer Avenger outsold Quake 2 in stores in a moment in time. Let's put some bait out.
John Romero's like, damn it, Deer. Should have... Deer, damn it.
If I don't shoot you within the first 30 minutes...
What is this giant rock? That can't be right. That skybox has to be... Whoa!
Show me. Oh. Yeah, it looks like a wood texture, almost.
Can you read Bob's comment, by the way?
Sure. I have to wonder if this game is trying to, quote-unquote, take on carnivores, the game where you hunt dinosaurs that can kill you. There were 4 of these. Wait, that's one's not Bob. Sorry. Same color name on my screen.
So you know who made Carnivores?
Who made Carnivores?
The people who made Deer Hunter.
Oh. That's
where the Deer Hunter's devs eventually went on to. WizardWorks, in collaboration with, was it Sunworks, or whatever their name was, Sunstorm. They went on to make the Carnivore games. So clearly they got tired of their own fucking, of Deer Hunter at a certain point and were ready to move on to greener pastures.
Help! Can someone rub bug spray on my big bouncy breasts?
Why am I not finding
this
any
funny?
of these power-ups? Oh, no, I know why I'm not finding it funny. I'm just... because it's not particularly funny. There's supposed to be power-ups around the map. Like, you eat them, and then it gives you a box here, and you can click on it to trigger the effect. But these maps are a little too big for their own good, as it turns out. Which becomes even more of a problem in Deer Avenger 4, spoiler alert, where the maps are, like, obscenely big, past a certain point in some of the later levels. Oh! Fucking finally! Now let's grab this.
Dearie, come here, boy.
Just in time, too.
Dearie, come on now. Come on, good boy.
Okay. Beautiful 13 frames per second there, by the way. Can you do me a favor, ban that bot from chat, by the way?
Yeah, I'm on it.
All right, thank you. All right. So I used that fart, and that gives me an idea of where the hunter is.
Smell the same.
If that's the only one I get to show off in this, whatever.
My ass guy.
Yeah, apparently reporting is not the same thing as ban. You think if you report someone, it's like, yeah, also I don't want them in the chat, please.
Yeah.
But no.
Okay, there we go.
That is wood.
Yeah, again, not the ideal experience. Deer Avenger 4 will run much smoother, mercifully.
That's actually your cabin. You live in a fucking huge wood cabin.
Take that, you Ozark moron.
I think some of the later guns in this game include like the bazooka from the first game. I think you get an M16 at some point, Uzis, machine guns. You get all sorts of goofy stuff in this game.
How many times are you gonna kill Earl?
Yeah, I'm getting bad luck with I'm getting bad luck on the draw with this. In all aspects of it, pretty much. God, this frame rate. Oh, look what's on the video screen there. Oh, it was for a second. It was a gun texture. So yeah, I think this game is sort of falling apart in real time in front of us right now, which is unfortunate. This is probably the game I spent the most time with of these games.
Oh yeah, standard issue for.
This is probably my favorite of the Deer Avenger games, for whatever that's worth. I think it is the most elaborate, or not the most elaborate. I think 4 is the most. It's the proper amount of elaborate. It has the proper amount of mechanics. In the trees, my God, the trees. I mean, you talk about speed tree. I don't know. Like I played a lot of this one, and I think it was just like a lot of the time was spent just running around the map, just being like, "Wow, 3D running on my Windows 95 at 5 frames a second. Truly, the future is now." Laughing at these jokes against all good taste and all good reason.
Drop a pizza?
Let's see if we can get someone else out.
Anyone who goes for this jerky crap.
Well, you picked up broccoli, which will let you attract.
Yeah, they have to be deployed first.
I got me a picture of Dusty Rhodes. Guess I'll just throw it away.
See, that's probably the first wrestling reference I ever picked up on. Right there. What? A Dusty Rhodes reference.
Why would it even be like a picture of Dusty Rhodes? I gotta get my hands on that.
Herders with an R where the N used to be. You know what
because, you know, wrestling, rednecks. Right? Two great tastes that taste great together. Okay.
How about a hug, you gorgeous mammal, you.
So this is a hippie. If you shoot these, it's like shooting doe in a hunting game, which is to say that you'll get disqualified, you'll get banned from the premises, that you'll lose, you'll instantly fail.
There is room for love in Bambo's heart.
Yeah, as long as they're not hunters.
Wow, the keys to the Skull Factory. Maybe if I just wait here, the
keys to the Skull Factory. All right. That's the magnetized fart that will make sure that wherever the hunter is on the map, they're heading to me now, as opposed to the bait that I laid out.
The Skull Factory.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like Skull Factory, Escape Cage says Skull Factory, like skull like the chewing tobacco.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think it's bad delivery on that. Oh my God, this fucking guy again. Can we get anyone else? Anyway, let's deploy a bomb fart once I get close. Get back here.
I mean, you could probably strangle him from this distance.
Did that hurt?
It hurts. In the lungs. Okay.
Can't tell if that actually did damage or not.
I think he just straight up ran away. Oh, maybe it did.
No, I think it did the first hit, then we had to do the 2 more follow-up shots. All right.
Open up them burly gates.
God, Earl, like, find a new hobby.
Yeah, clearly this hunting thing is not for him. All right, let's. Did I ever get anyone else in my playthroughs here? No, evidently not.
No. It's just Earl.
It's a shame too because I wanted to unlock some of the other guns in this playthrough. I think there's a way to cheat. I think if you edit like the save file and just put cheat at the top of the text file, it unlocks all the guns. Gives you every trophy, one of every trophy on the wall.
I'm fully aware of what
I'm
doing.
for coming in.
Can you see?
We have to find the answer by ourselves.
Don't mind if I do. Say something nice about this game. When it's working as intended, I think this is... I think I was making a point before about how this is probably the best Deer Avenger game, or the one that I think is like the most compact, concise, to the point. It offers at least some amount of depth.
So who do I like better, Brittany or Christina?
Timely references again, you know, as always in this game. Let's quit out of that. Let's close Windows 98. I don't think that game is terrible. Like, obviously, we did not do the best job showing it off because we ran into all manner of issues with the textures and the frame rate and just getting incredibly bad luck with who showed up. But I think if you were someone who is a hunting game aficionado and you were looking for like a very simple, easy breezy one of those, if you were in the market for a 3D hunting game and you don't mind the waiting around for stuff to happen as you do in a hunting game, I think that's a completely serviceable one. I think the variety of weapons is fun, especially as you get into the more exotic weapons, we'll call them, as we get into like bazookas and stuff that you wouldn't get in a typical hunting game. I think that sort of stuff is really what Deer Avenger should have leaned more into, is just like, the ridiculousness, and it's like upping the ante with every successive installment. And I guess you have the farts for that too. I guess that is like, a ridiculous twist on it. That would be, wholly unique mechanic to Deer Hunter, or Deer Avenger, that would separate it from Deer Hunter, having those power-ups, if you will. And also the fact that the people shoot back, that the hunters do shoot back, that you have to like take cover and like strafe and circle strafe around them. I think those aspects do advance it mechanically past like a Deer Hunter, even like the 3D Deer Hunters at that point. I think it adds like an actual degree of challenge that you don't get when the deer aren't shooting back in Deer Hunter, But, again, if you're looking for a hunting game, if you're looking for a straightforward hunting game, I get it. It's not to poo-poo that entire genre, even though most of those games are pretty fucking bad, as it turns out. But at least what Deer Avenger was doing here was mechanically innovating on that idea. More than Deer Avenger 1 was just like a straight-up remake of Deer Hunter, and Deer Avenger 2 obviously being its own beast, being like a gallery shooter, being that style of game. This coming and finding that compromise between hunting game and third-person shooter and reactive like combat shooter, I think was a smart decision. I think this was ultimately, they landed on the correct direction. I think this was the correct trajectory for Hypnotics and for Simon & Schuster to land on. And again, like, is the execution uneven? Sure. I think it would have been nice if it came out on Dreamcast. I think it would have exposed more people. I don't think it would have been like a top seller or anything. But the idea that more people would have played it, been able to potentially appreciate it, and maybe if they had expanded some of the features of it on Dreamcast, certainly would have gotten the performance better than it was on my Windows 95 machine without like a dedicated graphics card, right? So I think it's a shame that it did not, in fact, come out. And Ball Gang says, are you going to play The Last Deer Avenger? Come on! We're the Bad Game Hall of Fame. We spend half our time here just talking. I still have slides to get to. You're going to play with the slides next? What's the next slide, as a matter of fact? Speaking of slides, it's actually going to be the cover to Deer Avenger 4. Fancy that. Deer Avenger 4. The Rednecks Strike Back, the fourth installment of the best-selling parody series. This game releases in 2001, and it stands as the final entry in the Deer Avenger franchise, the final entry in the Avenger franchise as a whole.
So far.
While it is most certainly the most substantive and technically proficient game in the series, it's also pretty clear by this point that the parody concept is running a little dry, has run its course. And we were talking about, like, what Deer Avenger 3D did to differentiate it from Deer Hunter, to adapt those elements of a shooter. But, like, for Deer Avenger 4 here, really, nothing short of a game that was, like, wholly superior to every hunting game on the market, and also competing with shooters, third-person shooters on the market at the time. It had to now compete with like both these genres at once. And by 2001, shooters were coming a long way. We're advancing very rapidly, especially on the PC front. So putting themselves in that category, in that product category, transcending beyond the hunting game, was probably not... I mean, it worked for 3D, so unless this game was really great, unless this game really nailed every aspect of that, it was going to get slammed. I'm also going to mention that by this point in 2001, Deer Hunter was not a going concern for most people. Most people had forgotten what Deer Hunter was. You can barely see the hunter behind the word Avenger in the logo to this. And that's because a little game by the name of Big Buck Hunter had come out by this point in arcades and had completely dominated the hunting video game markets. Cabela's was still to come out, and Remington's games and whatnot. But by this point, Deer Hunter was as obsolete, was as moot, as little of a going concern as Deer Avenger was poised to be at this point. With that said, we are going to launch Deer Avenger 4. This one does run natively on PC with the help of DG Voodoo, so it's going to run a lot smoother. I did cap the frame rate at 30 because it's not meant to run at above 30. I don't think they envisioned a computer that could run this game in all its majesty at a full 60 frames per second. Perish the thoughts. This is going to play at 800 by 600 resolution. This should hook in. You might need to give me a second here. Are you seeing this, Charky?
I am seeing this.
I think it's a little too loud, so it's gonna pause
was
here.
Pretty
for a
loud.
second. Yeah, let's go ahead and lower that a little bit more. I'm gonna say minus 8 decibels on that will probably do it. And hopefully I got it right. No, still a little too loud. So I'm going to interrupt this beautiful 3D FMV in order to tweak the volume just that little bit more. In fact, I'm going to say probably minus 12 decibels is probably going to be the sweet spot. All right, let's see if I was correct. Yeah, I think we're just hitting the volume ceiling. It's not going to change anything meaningful for you, Charky, but for the audience, it should hopefully be good. So we're getting a glimpse at all the hunters here. We're getting a roll call. We get to see the new and improved Bambo. Again, redesigned.
It's 3D Cool World model.
See, this is where Metal Gear Solid 3 got their idea from. This is where they shamelessly stole from Deer Avenger 4 intro.
Oh, Bambo, what'd you do with all the freaking gabagool? Desgraciado.
Huh. Weird joke, weird pull there. Was Sopranos out at this point? I guess it was.
Yeah.
Here we are. Still tank controls, mind you. What, are these the only 2 guns I have? I thought I unlocked more stuff.
20. I like to call this baby.
It must not have saved my progress last time. Oh well. Yeah, this is Deer Avenger 4. Welcome to the new cabin. Welcome to the new... Tiger Chimera asks, where's Bambo's wife? I think they're still together. But check it out. We can view movies here, including the credits of the game, complete with a dance number. John Philip Sousa is the art director on this game. Taking a break from conducting orchestras, I suppose.
Epic Killman says, I remember playing this game as a kid. Loved it back then.
Yeah, well, not everything ages well. Not everything ages like a wine. Okay. So we can look at the intro again. Intro of the Deer Avenger 1. Intro of the Deer Avenger 2. Ending the Deer Avenger 2.
Stop! No! Just kill me now! The horror! The horror! Dear God, no! Make it go away! For the sake of everything holy, we're only human!
Flower became known as the gladiolus because the leaf structure suggested its name many centuries.
Do you like these stock scream sound effects, by the way? You like the fact that this is still scoped in, like they didn't have the original raw animation file for this, or raw movie file?
Oh, they probably didn't. Probably just deleted that shit as soon as it was over.
I don't think they'll be running you over again anytime soon.
How did you ever find them?
I just looked in the yellow pages under Heartless Bastards, and there they were.
Happy end for Bambo.
That's why you never, like, register yourself as a heartless bastard. They're gonna...
Not my proudest moment.
It's that and organ donor, you know? You never put that on your license.
And then it just loops that video. Do we have a Deer Avenger 3D ending here? Yes, we do! In case you're wondering how the previous game ends,
baby.
Fucking.
Back.
Oh,
baby, that's disgusting. Mildly kinky, but come on, that is gross.
Impossible to tell because the resolution is so low on this.
Doesn't mean anything to me. Him either.
Yeah, I can't even tell
What animals are supposed to be.
Yeah.
Understand the raccoon, but the squirrel?
I mean,
Idea where that thing's been? Ah, all right.
it's also in an even tinier corner of my screen. So.
Why did he wink at the camera like he's somehow getting the better in that situation? Anyway, those are all the videos they have on offer. Those are all the movies you can watch. It's a shame. Okay, I do want to show off. You have to unlock the extra arenas here. They scale up. We're going to start in Idaho. I'm going to try to unlock at least up to Wisconsin. I would like to make it to that stage. We're going to start in Idaho, though.
Leaves fall to the ground, so shall numerous bodies. It's showtime.
David Duchovny. Okay, welcome to the new and improved Deer Avenger. They finally have a camera that's actually centered behind the back.
A lot speedier.
Yes. We can walk, though, if we wanted to. We lose the jump function, and we gain a bunch of function row keys. There are now 4 different types of farts. We still have bait we can put out. We have the calls there. We can now hide inside of brush like this, so we can set up ambushes. Or otherwise, like, be out of sight and out of mind. And while getting asked, are these the best controls you've had tonight? Yes, this is very responsive. And now we see some beer cans crushed there. So the tactic is, the move is, you scour the map.
And save yourself a buck or two.
You go around the map, you find these, you lay down the bait near them. Then you do the call.
Hey, who wants to play pin the tail on the Playboy Bunny?
They'll never come for the first one.
Waiting for, come on, let's make this thing happen.
Bambo's a lot chattier about this. He's a lot more complaining about how slow-paced the game is. It's a hunting game, Bambo. This is the 4th one you've been in. I do like this new fart. I'll use this in a minute. Because we have the 3 previous farts. We have the baked beans that give us the bomb. The bag of fast food that gives us the radar. And then the broccoli that gives us the magnets. But then the chili dogs give us a rocket that takes us quickly across the map, which is good, because some of these maps, as I mentioned earlier, get fucking huge. Gigantically huge. Obscenely huge, one could argue. To the point where it is an active detriment to the game.
Bring the hunters, and we wouldn't want that now, would we?
Which is a problem, as it turns out. Okay. I see some toilet paper rolls here. I see 2 different...
Ollie, oxen free.
This should be a perfect place.
Put this on the porch and see if the cat licks it up.
To plop that down.
A line dance right here in the woods? Why, sure, I'd love to.
Anything? Anyone biting? Anybody?
Anyone think this is funny? Anyone?
Is anyone laughing? Is anyone? So again, humor not the strong points of this franchise. Never has been.
Of this comedy series.
Okay, I hear the music, which means that there is someone on the prowl.
This stuff? Ain't it some high Italian specialty or something? Yeehaw!
Oh, she found my bait, and now she's shooting. We lose the first-person view, but this is a lot more responsive. This is probably for the best here. Okay, let's try this. Let's try a bomb fart. Let's do a little more damage, because you can see our health in the top left corner. And she's put some hits on us. She's connected a few shots already. But there we go.
Spare no expense. Bury me with all the latest makeup from Kmart.
Well, I took a few hits back there. I wonder if I should risk it and keep hunting.
Yes. Because if you chain together as much as 4 trophies bagged,
Into the breach.
we can actually pick up their weapon to immediately start using it if we wanted to. I'm going to keep using the pistol.
I am ready to wreak some.
There are skill points in this game.
That brought my health back up.
There is leveling up in this game. And you get
That's an
more
RPG.
points if you string together multiple trophies in a single hunt. So it behooves you to try to go for all 4 to get 4 different trophies you bring back per run.
Suckers.
And I think that's also how you unlock the new arenas, is by hitting milestones with the targets. And the good thing is that because we got that lady, the next people to come out will not be that lady. The next people to come out are guaranteed to be different targets, because we already killed her. So we can't kill her
So
again.
we're not gonna get into a situation of Earl, and Earl.
Mercifully, no. So that's one issue they recognized and that they addressed. They fixed. Like, credit where credit is due. And I want to like make this very clear. This game is the best Deer Avenger game by like significant margin in terms of technical, in terms of mechanics, in terms of the depth of play, in terms of the variety.
Everything flow. And if you break wind, hold your breath for a little while, and then start breathing again.
Also, the
There's
hippies
the
give you
humor.
items. The funniest game by far. I think Amball Gang in chat asked, I'm surprised this isn't your favorite. Is it because of the map size? Yes! Yes, that is it. When the maps are too fucking big.
Good spot to throw away these X-ray glasses.
Video Game King says you can attract hunters by unequipping your weapon, holding right shift, left shift, and F8.
Does anyone know Donald Trump? He left his wallet here.
That joke's aged well. That worked! I was unaware of that. I was unaware that holding down both the shift buttons would work as an instant hunter attract. That's good to know. Thank you.
Guys, proof that the sons and daughters of married cousins should...
This is me doing the magnet to make him come to me.
It's game time. That's right. Come to...
Let's engage him from a distance. There's also attachments for weapons in this game that you unlock over time that you can find in the map. So different scopes.
Have to think about breathing much anymore. Well, I took a few hits back there.
Yeah, I think I want to continue hunting.
Keep hunting. I'm not going home without a cartridge.
Ooh, new gun.
Come on, let's go.
Don't know if it's a good one or not.
We'll take this one.
Move for blood.
They said it's not both shift buttons, it's right shift and left alt. Let's try that.
Who wants a rifle that doubles as a flask?
Yeah, that works. I honestly think it might just be like right shift is the modifier key that makes that work. Right shift and F8.
Right.
Maybe it's like a debug function that's left in the game. Or something. Or maybe they just, like, you know, they did tell people how to cheat for Deer Avenger 1, 2, and 3. How to add... I think they even do it for this game. I think you can, like, find the save file and put cheat in it somewhere, and that'll unlock every weapon in every arena and everything, like, right out the gates.
Well, maybe just to cleanse the palate.
Oh, I think he's going for my bait there. I think he's eating the food I left out. I think it's Earl again. I think it is Earl, but, you know, it's the first time seeing him in this game. No!
Ooh.
Kick his ass!
Hey, you collected a trophy yourself. So, cheating?
College diplomas, 5 for $1.
I mean, we're already cheating by doing this, right?
Eureka! A cure for...
Oh, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Maybe I need to lay out bait first, because I was doing that and it wasn't working.
Licks it up. Gee, a complete guide to every loophole in the laws against incest.
Classy stuff as always. Let's try left shift alt left.
Well, boy, howdy.
There we go.
On a stick. It's game.
I'm just gonna blitz this so we can unlock the next map, get a few guns under our belt. But clearly switching away from the pistol was not the move. You get like an Uzi at some point in this game. You get an M16, you get these full auto weapons, which are just like markedly better than any of the shitty hunting rifles that you have to, like, you know, fire bolt action in this game. It is better just to have a constant barrage of bullets than it is to even consider, like, you know, the damage ratio of the bolt action or whatever. It's just like, no, just like hit him as many times as possible, as quickly as possible, stun lock him, save yourself. And the handgun is like the first gun that takes you sort of in that direction. So that is the one we will stick with.
Some havoc.
Hey, I bet you $5 you can't shoot yourself, jump in a pot and cook yourself.
Got him.
I wish I ain't gone and killed all my relatives. Now who's gonna come to my funeral?
Okay, let's see.
Continue hunting, stick with the pistol.
Should I keep hunting or head back to the cave? Hey,
Hey, it's Rush Limbaugh. Can I have your autograph?
That joke has aged particularly well.
Get your free, painless corrective dentistry here.
You can actually use the 3D audio. You can use the stereo pane to figure out what direction the hunters are coming from. Later on,
I've noticed.
You unlock a few accessories, like an acoustic amplifier that like shows you a little mini map that shows where they are, so you can like just head immediately in that direction.
It's like the thing in Fortnite. You
Yeah.
have the ring that shows up.
Dance in the sky.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I'll continue hunting. We're doing well.
Should I keep hunting or head back to the cave and... Anyone else got friends?
He continues to say as he's already made his decision.
Yes. I mean, we're speeding through it right now. I'm going for speed, ludicrous speed here, as I want to unlock a new map and show some of the range of the game, show as the maps get bigger. I mean, this is already pretty decently sized. I'd say this map is the most like a Deer Avenger 3 map in terms of scale. I think it might be a little larger than some of the Deer Avenger 3 maps, but by the end game, by the time you're in the fourth map, it is like measures of magnitude larger. Which, you know, I think some hunting game aficionados probably would have liked. I mean, for them, like they don't mind the wait. They don't mind moving slowly across the map. They don't mind like sitting around for hours in real life. So why not do the same on a computer?
You know, if the series had gone on, they could have made like the No Man's Sky of Deer Avengers games.
Ooh, just infinite fields to hunt in.
Yeah.
Automatically generated rednecks for you to shoot. Truly, the future is now.
I knew this snout wasn't just for good looks. I can sense a hunter nearby.
They gotta be around here somewhere. I don't have any more radar farts. Oh wait, there we go. Speak of the devil. You just gotta follow the direction it goes. You only have a couple seconds to track it, but here we go.
This game is making us say some dumbass sentences.
I'm trying to take it, you know, at face value, as much as is possible, with a game as admittedly goofy as this is, with what is, you know, a self-professed parody game, a comedy game.
Think globally, act locally, and dress like you're on an acid trip.
I believe that's gonna be another one of the... Yep, hippies, you got any food for me?
I just knew you would.
No, evidently not. I'm worried because I thought this was the direction the hunter would be in. Well, let's try it like this. Okay, so to the left. And let's rock it over. Somewhere around here. Oh, I hear the footsteps. See, this is almost tense. This game of cat and mouse, listening for the footsteps, trying to figure it out. No, I'm serious. I mean, this is like, you know, as far as like a shooter is concerned, like, you know, taking crossing hunting game with third-person shooter and having some element of like listening and using like cues to make sure that you're getting the drop on them.
It is becoming game adjacent.
This is a game. This is a video game.
I know. I'm being an ass.
I know, but I just want to make the point here that this isn't bad. I mean, yes, the comedy is what it is, but in terms of executing on this premise, which is at least like mechanically novel, which is like a genre hybrid, right? It controls well enough. It looked decent enough for 2001 when it came out. Ran okay, I imagine. For me, like, the only flaw with this, besides the comedy being what it is the fact that these maps are too fucking big. Just entirely. Even this first map, which is the smallest of the maps. I've already completely lost track of this hunter. We heard their footsteps, so they were nearby for like a second, and now they're just gone. They're still around because I can hear the music. If I had the magnet fart, I could just stand still and make him come to me. Which would probably be ideal.
You have to cheat.
The cheat called the hunter.
I see almost dead people.
Oh, we must be nearby because he had an audio trigger. He had a line that indicates that he's in range. I see it.
Get it on.
I got this. I just gotta not die. If I can get them while they're in the water, they move slowly.
Squeal! No, really. Ain't you a hug?
Here we go.
But it sure feels nice to be off of my feet.
Okay, let's see.
Let's go for the maximum. Let's live dangerously.
All right.
Or head back to the...
That's the combat shotgun. That might be okay.
It's game.
I'll give it a shot. I'll regret it immediately. If I die, we're not going to see any more levels in this. Okay, let's cheat. Let's get that hunter active.
I guess I'll just throw away these tickets for that new...
Now remember, if we were not cheating here, it could take potentially 10 minutes between hunters showing up. You'd have to scour the entire map in search of like the toilet paper rolls or beer cans or whatever else. Lay the bait.
I'm getting all...
Do the calls.
That's a hunter nearby or the Viagra's kicking in.
I do hear the footsteps. There's also these fireplaces. These also work as a telltale sign that hunters can be summoned by doing the calls and laying the bait near there.
Hey, it's Bill Gates and drag.
Classy joke. Let's do the magnet. Let's see who this is.
Let's get it on.
I'm gonna hide behind this tree because I feel like they're gonna round that corner. Oh, it's like the feminist, like, boss lady.
Really nice on my office wall, right next to the genitalia of my underlings.
There we go. I'm hoping that fart did some damage.
I'm not the Terminator. Dodge the friggin' bullets.
I think she has a revolver.
Compared to a leveraged buyout.
There we go.
My lawyers can get me out of this, I'm sure.
And there we go. We maxed out. You take home 4 with you and take home their guns. And here's the skill points. And they all go into speed. They all go into your move speed. That's my pro tip. If you're going to play Deer Avenger 4, the Rednecks Strike Back, put all the points into speed.
Okay, back to the cave it is.
A new world has been opened. A whole new world, Sharky.
The beret endorsed by the Republic.
Mars.
Look at this turnaround animation. Incredible. Did they motion capture real deer for this?
Now, this also passes my spin test.
Yes, it does. Okay, let's see another map. I picked the revolver, because you know how I feel about revolvers.
Flowers, wanderlust, and the systematic hunting of rednecks. It's showtime.
Okay, let's see what this map is.
Is he gonna fuck a tree?
Nope, but we are gonna troll the trailer park here. Let me try to get one legit.
Why not just eat your own crap? All right, one size fits all dentures.
Now, if we scour this map, I think this is the first map where they start to put some of like the scopes and other like accessories you can take with you. So they really did expect players to, like, you know, troll every inch of these maps, of these gigantic, oversized, too big for their own good maps to find, like this.
The more I pick up, the better my chances of kicking ass.
This is the radar, so we can see there's a blip. What's going to be where the blip is? Only time will tell. Probably the hippie. Yeah, of course he's going to be the only thing making sound right now. Because we don't have any hunters on the prowl.
Oh, he gave you a snack? What did he give you?
Give me a chili dog so we can turbo boost.
Oh, he did give you a snack then.
Hillbillies back to back.
Every episode of the Beverly Hillbillies back to back. Isn't there a YouTube video about that?
Yeah, are you trying to find Quentin reviews?
Wow, an Oak Ridge Boys reunion right here?
Remember, I'm trying to do this legit for a change. And then as soon as I get my one legit, I'm just going to cheat egregiously again. Oh, another opportunity to lay some bait.
The concept alone of cheese in a can will fascinate these rednecks for... Wow! Take this job and shove it on DVD!
I never got that one. Is there a show called Take This Job and Shove It? I guess there has to be.
Probably.
Anybody? Anybody gonna come out? I could so easily just cheat. I could just do the call and hold down the buttons that make it so that it guarantees that they come out, and no one would be any the wiser. But I would know I cheated myself. Let's go all the way out to the edge of the map here. Just so we can run all the way back. Again, needlessly big. This doesn't add anything, having to do all this traversal here just to get a couple power-ups. Let's count in real time. How long to get from this end? 2, 3... 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now, it may not seem like a long time, but when all you're doing is running around in circles looking for stuff, looking for the places where you can cast your bait and whatnot, that time adds up to where it is like 10 minutes between like any meaningful action.
Again, this series could have become No Man's Sky.
Yeah. I'll get into my conclusions, you know, like as far as like them ending the series, and you know that probably being the right call.
Think like a deer. I am a deer.
Oh, there we go. Let's see what direction they're from. They're gonna be in that heading. If we bring up this, that'll give us a more of a pinpoint.
Batman has the Joker, and I got an idiot dressed like a deer.
Hey, there, brother.
I got winged a little bit there. Okay.
No way to get your health back, right? No salt shakers to shoot.
No, it does regenerate over time, though.
The pain sucks, but I hate the smell of burning earth.
Got it.
Sure. You think I'm dead now? But just wait till Deer Avenger 5.
Man, I am all kinds of beat up. I don't know.
Deer Avenger 5, well...
Lick my wounds.
He had a shotgun, a different type of shotgun. There's a battery because you need to charge the battery on this here thing, on this here gimmick, on this this noise amplifier or GPS. He just said that brought my health back up. Just walking around, it's just regenerating over time. Let's make sure. Let's get some guaranteed hunters here.
Ah, a sparrow with a broken wing. Who wants to step on it?
You know, surprisingly, the guaranteed call thing didn't work. Maybe I need to have some bait out still.
One-handed viewing. Wow, a brand
There we go.
pickup truck with the...
So I think these like quality of life improvements definitely like show that. And I think the important thing to note here, what I really want to get across, is that Hypnotics cared about the quality of their work. They wanted to be seen as not just making parody games like they had been like sort of forced into, pigeonholed into by the likes of Simon & Schuster. They wanted to demonstrate, while constrained by this format, that they were still like thinking about like mechanics and advancing gameplay and making an engaging game. How successful they are in that, what your tolerance for a game like this is obviously going to vary from case to case, from person to person.
I'd have hit him.
I think this is imminently playable, though. I'm going to use the bomb. Please tell me that connected.
Nice of you to take the time to remove that mole for me. And most
There we go.
dying's easy. Comedy is hard.
Well, I think...
Yeah, you should know.
Yeah.
All right, that's a spirit.
All right.
All right, feeling better already.
Let's do another.
Never mind being a millionaire. Who wants to ride the mechanical bull?
I just want to make sure this rifle works
I'm sorry, I don't know if my phone notification came through over the microphone.
No, I don't believe it did. I believe you're in the clear.
It was a thing that said heavy thunderstorms expected Wednesday afternoon. You don't fucking say.
Oh, like there's a hurricane coming your way or something?
Yeah, underselling it a little bit.
They're failing on my tracking device. Interesting.
All right. I don't want to hear that annoying beeping sound anymore. We're going to put the GPS away. We're going to have to rely on our old-fashioned intuition and our farts.
A 6-hour tape? That'll make the longest relationship I ever had.
Somewhere this way.
Mighty shallow gene pool.
Looks like
Oh.
I Ladies, once again, bud.
Oh, that's actually the scope I need.
Yes, sir. I think I can use this baby.
Dude, now I just have that scope permanently. It'll be in the inventory, assuming we make it back alive.
That brought my health back up.
Which might be easier said than done. This dude clearly has a decent weapon on him. And I don't think I've connected a single shot yet. Let's reload before we get back out there. Maybe the revolver was not my best choice. Not for this game, anyway.
You just gotta stay on brand.
I'm out of here.
The hippie's scared off. Shit. This is getting close.
Ah, the poster child against incest.
Okay. Round the corner, buddy.
Come on.
Fuck. Let's reload again. Maybe if I can recover a little bit of health before I get back out there. At least I winged him.
This is very Fortnite.
I mean, this is
like, not
what's
a good
happening
season
here.
of Fortnite,
yeah,
but
like, to be clear, I think this is good. What's happening right here? This is like as simple as the AI here is, as admittedly basic as the routines are. That was satisfying.
But you have it. The simple truth is, I've lost.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh?
Immediately beset upon by another hunter. We don't even get a chance to pick up the weapon or swap anything out.
The caveman looked like a genius.
You see him in the distance?
Oh, yeah.
See, this is good. Like, this is genuinely sort of tense. I'm waiting for the health to recover. They sent another dude in after me. He has a shotgun, so I really want to build some distance here. I want to get a little more health. I want to be in the green. Unless I can snipe him from here.
Yeah, they deal with...
That's right, we can apply the scope immediately to our gun.
Ooh, this looks like the beginning of a James Bond movie. Welcome to Sniper Mode, otherwise known as Oswald's Vision.
There we go!
Who'd have thought a bullet could get deep enough to do some real damage?
I think that was our 4.
There you are, yeah.
There we go. Yes, all into speed, please. Thank you. A new world has been opened. See, we're filling out the gun wall a little bit.
The larger they look, the easier they...
We can select between our scopes, our accessories.
As soon as they make a sound.
So, which makes you think there will be more accessories and more scopes to pick from as you unlock them in the game.
Don't be...
Which I know for a fact to be true.
The problem solver.
Let's go back to the pistol. And I just want to show... I'm not going to show the last map. Just take my word that it's way too big. Let's see a map that's already way too big in the 3rd level.
Arterial spray. It's showtime.
I wish there was a cheat to give you infinite chili, dog, so you can just, like, quickly hoof it.
Yeah.
But this should be good enough.
Me too. If we're talking about real life, me too.
Yes, goddamn right. So look at this. We literally cannot see the edges of the map. At the very least, there's some nice particle effects. We have a different outfit on, so it's seasonal.
We're playing natural fawn killers now.
But yeah, is this a little much? Hey, Hypnotics. Did it need to be this big?
It is now a tribes map.
And this is why you put all your points into speed. Because there ain't no vehicles to drive here. I can't hop in my truck and drive across. I can get on an ATV and go downhill and uphill. See that mountain? You can climb it. Oh, Slime Generator got to me. You beat me to the joke. Race to the joke. There's some lighting effects happening here. Oh, I think we finally hit the edge.
This game.
Bambo just asked how much was this game. I think the answer is about like $30, give or take. But you could have priced this as like a full price game, I think, by this point in the franchise. I think you probably could have gotten away with this being 50 back in the day, or 40. I think for the measure of the amount of content in here, the playability of it, the replayability even, there's something. I'm gonna get a hunter going.
Oh boy, a picture of Minnie Pearl back when she was hot.
Not just over my head entirely.
Now let's go zoom in. Another one. I don't know if that actually took me in the direction of... Oh, I still have this. Right, I forgot I had this. Now, realistically, I should just put that away because I have at least an idea of where they are. They're in this direction. So I no longer need the radar farts. Which is nice. And again, a sentence that you never thought you'd have to say until the Deer Avenger stream. Okay, I see him. I can make out those like couple pixels in the distance. Wait, do I have dual pistols now? Charkie, this is the best game ever made. I didn't realize that by killing the dude with a pistol twice, you get akimbo pistols.
I smell idiocy.
I never put that 2 and 2 together there. In playing this game years ago, decades ago. Alright, let's see what two guns can do.
Oh, good news, they both shoot.
If I missed, I must have hoof and eye. I can't believe I missed. I must have hoof and eye.
The only thing you've done is increase the property value of my neighborhood.
Well, I took a few hits back there. I wonder if I should risk it and keep hunting.
Oh, he was the pistol hunter too, so I guess we can't pick up a gun. I guess we can't switch to a single pistol after killing him.
Try Kimbo.
Let's get another one.
Who wants a VD patch?
Because if you find the third pistol, what you do is like you juggle them at all times.
Ooh, I like that.
So you're always holding 2, but have one in the air.
I like that. Developers, get on that. Someone make that work. Someone find a way to make that practical, to make that control in some capacity, in some form or fashion.
We got it in a cutscene in Metal Gear Solid 3, but we didn't get it in gameplay.
If you break wind, hold your breath for a little while, and then start...
You got any food for me? Sir? You got anything? No, but you are going to show up as a false positive on the radar. Where could the other one be? Oh! This way. Let's go ahead and do the magnet, too. Just to make this even quicker. I want to go up against someone who has, like, a machine gun or something ridiculous. Something that's just, like, completely unfair. I mean, we're using dual pistols. We're using akimbo pistols, which is already, like, you know, what hunting game would let you? But, you know, that's what made Deer Avenger stand out, was, like, you know, beyond just the premise and the fact that people shoot back, that you're getting to use these funner guns. That there is at least some amount of, like, power fantasy and you know, that you would never get out of a hunting game, where it's just, like, you know, your selection of bolt actions and shotguns, maybe a handgun. But, you know, you're not packing an Uzi to go into the forest, to go into the woodlands and hunt down, you know, a 10-point stag. You know, not even a lot of, like, third-person shooters at this time was, like, you know, the ones that weren't hunting-focused. Not a lot of them were, like, getting fun with the guns, even. A lot of them were very straightforward. A lot of them were very dry. And I think that is, like, you know, one advantage of being a comedy game and being able to throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks, right? Is that you can just sort of, like, play it to extremes. You can go to, like, you can dial it to 11. You can say to yourself, like, what's the most ridiculous weapon we put in here? Give him a rocket launcher? A rocket launcher for these one-on-one fights? Sure, why not? It'd be funny. You know, whether that's actually funny or not, but, you know, mechanically it's interesting. It's variety. It's choices that you get as a player that you can choose just to complete, like, you know, one-shot people, or choose, like, to engage them in sort of fair fights, take cover and whatnot. You have some degree of agency based on, like, what your preference is. And so that has to count for something, right? Oh, I think I see it. Let's keep the radar open so I can... Like, I don't remember who said it in chat, but someone said something to the effect of, this is the first game they saw tonight that they would actually consider playing. And, you know, I know we're the Bad Game Hall of Fame, and you know, everyone knows the Bad Game Hall of Fame. Like, we stand in defense of bad games. I don't even know if I'd call this a bad game. The comedy, bad. Comedy does not hit. Has not hit in any of these games. And it made it hard to comment on this as well, for, you know, to a certain extent. Because, you know, competing with the one-liners and whatnot. But I think this game is legitimately good. I think its flaw is that when you get these later maps, they're too fucking big, as I've mentioned like 5 or 6 times by now.
You know, you've seen the last map, surely, right?
Yes.
It's bigger than this one?
At least twice as big as this.
Ugh.
And it's like, it's all like wood. It's autumnal, as they say. So you didn't even get the fun little particle effect of the snow.
I see almost dead people.
Alright. I'll call it after this one, by the way. I'm just gonna get this last dude, see what gun he has.
Kick ass and take some names. But without taking the names.
Sneak up on him, maybe?
You got the pretty mouth.
Oh! Luckily I got danger close. The shotgun killed me, but you have some iframes as you're doing the farts. So it saved my life. Or not iframes, you have frames where you don't die, where you can have no health and still survive because you're in the middle of your animation. Unfortunately, there's another hunter around right now. Which is not ideal. Because that means that we can't end the hunt immediately. But I mean, that's the risk, that you can get 2 hunters on you at the same time, as we mentioned in the previous level, where that added something to the gameplay. I'm only, you know, frustrated about it now because I wanted to end this already. I wanted to be done with this. Right. But,
that brought my health back up.
Fuck. I wish there was a radar. I wish there was a radar fart.
Smell and run like hell.
Because I guess the use of it is that, you know, the GPS only has so much range, so you still are, like, you know, encouraged to use the fart to at least get like a direction going. I'm just gonna rocket fart until I find something, anything.
Alright, feeling better already.
Anyone this way? No, I bet there's gonna be some items on top of this little mound though. Yes, there we go.
Yeah, you are.
Don't sit too close to the monitor when you use this baby.
Now, I did reference it earlier, but you ever played Natural Fawn Killers?
Can't say I have. What is that?
This, more or less.
Okay, fair. Was it, what console did it come out for?
It was PC.
It was PC. What year?
It's mine.
Ooh, let me check.
I know we mentioned Deer's Revenge being, you know, what that is, being the poor man's Deer Avenger.
It was... I want to say 1999? Yes.
I'm surprised I didn't come across that then. I'm surprised
There was also a sequel, I don't remember the name of it, but it was like Christmas themed.
I am ready.
There's no Wikipedia article for it. It's on my abandonware, though.
There we go.
I want to be buried with my hog, my bike, not my old lady.
Oh my god, don't tell me there's a 4th hunter around. That guy had the Uzi. I want the Uzi. I don't want to keep...
Feeling better already.
Tracking device is low on batteries.
Well, at least this should be the last one. This should be the last hunter, and I at least have an idea of what direction they're in. Bob Mater,
okay, so
what's Bob Mater's question, by the way?
Let me check. I saw Deer's Revenge on your desktop. Will that come up in the future?
We played that in the parody game Parade. That's as much of that game as I ever want to play.
I was wrong about Natural Fawn Killers. Natural Fawn Killers is not this necessarily. It is
conceptually.
You are a human hunting animals, not an animal hunting humans. But it is in the same vein of being like a parody of hunting games, kind of. It's just very crass.
Tingly. Either that's a hunter nearby or the Viagra's kicking in.
The graphics, like a 1999 game, but the graphics are kind of like the South Park game. It's like the closest analog I have to it. And I don't mean that in a good way.
No!
Ah.
That's gonna do it for Deer Avenger 4. I mean, whatever. That's fair play. I could have played that more tactically. I could have come from a better angle. I could have used like some of like the cover to my advantage, hidden in the brush, waited for them to pass me by. If I wasn't cheating, and summoning multiple hunters potentially, if I was playing properly, laying the bait out, I could know what direction they were headed in when they spawned. And you could play the game like more like a hunting game. That would probably help in an instance like that, in a scenario like that. But that will do it for Deer Avenger 4, which is the last game of tonight. But we still have a few more slides to get through, just to finish this off. It's not super long. First things first, I'd like to show this little cover. This is the cover to Outlaw Golf, which was released for the Xbox on June 11th, 2002, on GameCube on October 30th, 2002, my birthday, October 30th, and for PCs on September 30th, 2003. Maintains the traditional rules of golf while adding adult themes such as sexuality and violence. In fact, several of the playable golfers and their caddies play many of the same stereotypes that Deer Avenger would have made fun of just a year prior. What's the relevance here? Hypnotics made this. This is Hypnotics' big franchise. This is the one that they went down in history for, Hypnotics. This game, this Outlaw Golf, was a success. It warranted a standalone expansion called Outlaw Golf 9 Holes of Xmas, released December 23rd, 2002, exclusively a Blockbuster. A second standalone expansion, Outlaw Golf 9 More Holes of Xmas, released November 15th, 2003, so a year later, they're still putting out this like derivative fucking like standalone expansions for this. Finally gets an official sequel, Outlaw Golf 2, October 21st, 2004. And there's also spin-offs of this franchise in the same way they tried to turn the Avengers series into like a franchise spanning fishing and hunting. We would have Outlaw Volleyball, Outlaw Tennis. And so this sort of became Hypnotics' bread and butter for a minute, until around 2005, July 2005, when rather than continuing to operate under the purview of Simon & Schuster Interactive, which by this point was getting out of the game, Hypnotics gets picked up by none other than Electronic Arts and folded into EA Tiberian, which is the studio that does NFL, Madden NFL, maybe you've heard of it, and the Tiger Woods PGA Golf Series, which, natural skill set, these people who had been working on these golf games getting folded into a golf game studio. The founder of Hypnotics does not make the move, or I think they do make the move, but they eventually leave EA to found their own company called Hype Games Inc., spelled HYP Games Inc., is a continuation of Hypnotics, a spiritual successor studio to Hypnotics, is the intention with that. And they go on to put out their own game called Ultimate Golf, which is a 2020 mobile game. It's on iOS and Android, which is maintained and updated to this very day. So if you're wondering what happened to all the Hypnotic staff, they either went to EA, maybe stayed there for a while, worked on some golf games or maybe even some football games. Other people left to make their own mobile golf game, which again, still updated. So this game is at least fairly successful, I guess, if they're still pumping out updates for it in the year of our Lord 2024. Like, they literally have like tournaments in this game to this day. So clearly everyone who was involved in Hypnotics, like, you want to imagine most of them landed on their feet, continued to find jobs in the industry unless they, got burnt out on it, which, happens to all of us. Can happen to anyone, but ultimately, like, a happy end for them. They were right to end the Deer Avenger, to stop trying to push that, to find some other avenue, some other angle. And I think the Outlaw Golf clearly resonated. Clearly it caught on. Clearly it was successful. So yeah, lesson learned.
They stood at crossroads. One sign said horny, one sign said golf, and they picked one and they stuck with it.
So that's a good example. Again, a positive outcome for them, for Deer Avenger, ending after 4 games, the right call. Which brings us back to Deer Hunter, and this is what I really wanted to end on here. WizardWorks and Sunstorm continued with the Carnivore series that we mentioned
fully
earlier,
aware of what I'm doing.
covering dinosaur hunting, which has persisted in the 2020s under a bevy of different developers who have taken on the Carnivore's mantle. So they were doing that. Ultimately, Sunstorm shuttered in 2003, WizardWorks shut down in 2004, but that was far from the end of the Deer Hunter franchise. I'm going to attempt to list every Deer Hunter game after this drink up. So Deer Avenger stopped after 4 games. Let's count the amount of Deer Hunter games there are. 1997's Deer Hunter, 1998's Deer Hunter 2, 1999's Deer Hunter 3, 2001 had Deer Hunter 4 and Deer Hunter 5, 2002 had Deer Hunter 2003, 2003 had Deer Hunter 2004, 2004 had Deer Hunter 2005, and 2008 brought us Deer Hunter Tournament, and that's the halfway point. After the release of Deer Hunter Tournament, every game bearing the franchise's name has been a mobile version. There's not been a full-fledged, PC or console game since. And these games have included 2009's Deer Hunter 3D, 2010 had Deer Hunter African Safari, Deer Hunter First Shot, Deer Hunter Bowmaster, and Deer Hunter Challenge. 2011 had just Deer Hunter, and then 2012 had Deer Hunter Reloaded, Deer Hunter Online, and 2014 brought us Deer Hunter 2014. So that was at least 12 fucking games I just went through there over the course of about as many years. Some of these games, some of these mobile games have been brought over to Steam where they have received intensely negative reviews for just being shitty mobile game ports to PC. See, here's the thing. With the emergence of franchises such as Big Buck Hunter and Cabela's Big Game Hunter, Deer Hunter is left to wallow in self-parody at this point. There's even there's better Hunter games. There's the Hunter series, the Hunter Call of the Wild. I think I got that game for free on Epic Games at some point. Deer Hunter is not a going concern at this point. The IP owners, whoever manages the Deer Hunter license at this point, whoever owns the rights to that, clearly did not heed the lesson that Hypnotics and Simon & Schuster did, to quit while they were ahead. Deer Hunter is now more of a joke than Deer Avenger is. You cannot top Deer Hunter for self-parody with Deer Avenger's conscious parody, in my mind. And whereas Deer Avenger 4 got to end on a high note, whereas that franchise got to end on the note of, here's a mechanically adept game, complex game to some extent, with mechanic and stuff, Deer Hunter has become a joke. It's become the fourth banana in a genre that it arguably invented in the hunting game. It's been supplanted by every other franchise that has come since. No one is playing this. No one holds a reverence for it. They sullied whatever reputation they may have had. People who were picking up the game in Walmart back in 1997 are not following it to this day. Who's to say how they could have improved on that? Probably doing less games further apart with more meaningful advancements and iteration between them would probably be a start. Not packing 4 or 5 releases into the same fucking year, not going the mobile game route, or at the very least having just one mobile game as opposed to putting out yearly mobile games, which they were doing for a period of time, which is just such an egregiously stupid business model that, yeah, this deserves to fail. This Deer Hunter series is, I keep coming back to it, but self-parody at this point. It's comical how badly they fumbled this, how completely they have destroyed the reputation of what was, at one moment in time, a genre innovator, a top seller, a IP that had value, even if that value did come at a value price in the Walmart bargain bin. But hey, that's how industry goes sometimes. That's how the game industry is. You find something successful, you beat it into the ground, and you keep beating it and beating it and beating it until it's completely devalued. And that'll be the end of the story. Did you expect that Deer Avenger would have a more dignified end than the Deer Hunter franchise it was making fun of?
I mean, by a certain definition of dignified.
Okay, fair point. What would a Deer Avenger 5 look like, Charky? What do you think? What do you want out of Deer Avenger 5?
I've been thinking about this the whole time, all right?
Perfect.
My idea is to make it like Hitman. You don't play as this buff I want to fuck a Bambo character, right? You play as a normal ass deer, but you can go into high profile mode, which is you stand on your hind legs and walk around like a man.
Oh, I like this.
But you have to sneak around as a normal deer in the woods or in a suburb or something, with the set traps and the set or if you need to kill someone with your bare hooves, you have to stand up. But if you get caught standing up, then everyone's on your ass.
That's a legitimately good idea. I was expecting like a joke answer, but that's honestly like, that's how I would do it. Yeah. Hypnotics, or Hip Games, I guess. If you're listening, Jeff Siegel, get on the line, get on the phone. We have some ideas to pitch you. So yeah, those were the Deer Avenger games. That was the Deer Avenger retrospective, plus Bass Avenger, plus a little history of Deer Hunter. Conclusions, final thoughts from me. Yeah, some of those games really don't hold up. But there's a certain charm to them that even between the bad jokes, the really bad jokes, and some of the uneven gameplay, I can at least appreciate and respect the fact that they were putting work into these. They were making marked improvements between games, if not completely reformatting things, as was the transition from 2D to 3D, completely retooling what that was, or even the transition from the first game to the second game. Clearly, they wanted something more out of this than the scope of their budget and the purview of Simon & Schuster Interactive would allow. I think they maybe would have landed on some ideas. Maybe not your Hitman idea, necessarily, even though it would be, again, a fucking great idea. But I can imagine them, like, taking Bambo, doing something with him outside of Deer Avenger, or otherwise just making, like, a Deer Avenger 5. Like, again, just a completely, like, genre departure. Finding some other thing they could, like, work it into. Or finding other animals, other funny animals to take his place. Building characters akin to Bambo, building them up in different franchises and series. They could have had something there, but I think it was ultimately for the best that they didn't keep pushing it. Like I said, I think there's a merit to knowing when to call it quits, knowing when to stop, when enough is enough, when the joke has run its course. And so these games get to stand now as, you know, obviously a time capsule of the late 90s, early 2000s, with its dated jokes and, you know, offensive caricatures and all that baggage that comes with it. But, and, you know, the fact you can't run them on modern computers without doing, like, a whole shit ton of work, so, you know, they're not really preserved in that capacity unless you're a sicko like me who knows how to deal with virtual machines and virtual installs and such. But I think if I had just not gone back and played these games, I would have just continued thinking back on these games fondly. I would have just had, like, my pleasant memories of them from 20 years ago and been content to live with that. But now that I've gone back and played them, that illusion has not been shattered as much as I thought it would, is the honest truth, especially playing that third and fourth game. Now, granted, the third game was not shown in the best possible light. We had its technical hiccups, but I can remember what the game is supposed to play like, and I can have some degree of fondness for that. In that fourth game, if they just scaled down those fucking maps, if they just condensed it a little bit, not made you have to, like, run a country mile from one end of the map to the other, or at least giving you, like, more, like, fast traversal options, I think that's a very mechanically sound game. I think the gunfights in that are really good. Just genuinely, like, you know, very simple, yes, but they demand a lot from you. In the same way, like a mini-maze or Faceball, you know, simple inputs, but there's a lot of nuance to it in the way you can approach those fights. So, again, talented people working on these games, constrained by the comedy format, constrained by, you know, McCann's writing. And he is a funny dude. When you have to write this comedy, when you have to write, like, you know, stereotype comedy and do it in this sort of lens, that's going to stifle anyone's creativity. That's going to, you know, you're only going to be able to tell so many jokes or so many variations on the same three jokes effectively. But again, putting that
especially
aside,
when someone's like hovering over your shoulder going, no, hornier.
I want to fuck that deer. I don't know. I can't get particularly mad at these. Having played them, like, I could see myself going back in for some more Deer Avenger 4 after this. I'm not going to, but I could theoretically see a future in which I'm like, you know, I was having some fun playing Deer Avenger 4. Maybe I'll get back to that. Maybe I'll, like, try to learn some of the mechanics. I don't know. It's not often I get to walk away from these streams and just be like, hey, that wasn't that bad, right? So that's my takeaway for this. What do you glean from all this?
I'd say there's definitely a change between, not counting Bass Avengers as that weird offshoot, there was definitely a change between 2 and 3 in terms of, I think, what they were going at this with. And yeah, I think that was the moment where it seemed like they had like greater ambitions for what they were doing. Like 4 was interesting to look at because like especially like watching you play it, like I was getting like the same impressions as like watching a fight in like no build mode in Fortnite happen. That kind of like back and forth and trying to bait people out, and weird that it's weird that the game series went that way, right? Yeah. Like if you hear like Deer Avenger and you have like the idea of like, oh, it's a Deer Hunter parody, like you don't see it going that way necessarily. You don't think of a series like that as something that evolves with every entry.
And yet, it is like, if you think about it, it is a completely logical iteration. It is a completely logical evolution. Mm-hmm. And they sat down with it, they thought about it, and they said, let us cook.
Perhaps it evolved. You know what? It probably did evolve a lot more than the series it was trying to parody.
Oh, no doubt on that counts. But that will do it for Deer Avenger. Again, we're coming from this with a soft recommend on Deer Avenger 4, soft recommend on Deer Avenger 3, maybe even a soft one on 2. You can skip the first one.
Humor in 2 was a little next.
It's a calorie shooter, and that's all right. That's fun. It's challenging. It's a sufficient challenge. There were some tactics there, taking behind cover. Anyway, we hope that despite all the bad comedy coming from the game, and the bad comedy coming from us, that folk enjoyed themselves tonight, that you enjoyed this look back at a strange series of games that realistically shouldn't have been a series. It should have been a singular entry, but I think it was nice. I think it was good. I think it was for the better. We live in a better world because there is a Deer Avenger 2 through 4, in addition to the first. That being said, if you like what you saw here tonight, if you did enjoy the show, consider pledging on Patreon, subscribing here on Twitch, joining our Discord server. If you happen to support us financially, you will gain access on there to a Patreon Saints channel where you will have say over what we play. You'll be able to vote in polls or just drop suggestions on us. We'll take them into consideration, play them on the show, why don't we? It is September, so this is as good a time as any to do it. But in the event that you cannot financially support us, we completely understand. We'd appreciate it if, on the YouTube front, you maybe link some of our VODs, link some of our stream archives. We actually have a playlist on there. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's called Suggested Viewing, and it's a playlist that has 20 or so videos that we've picked out as some of our favorites of the stream archives that we think would be good onboarding for anyone you might want to show it to. That if you want to give them an impression of what the Bad Game Hall of Fame is all about, you can link into one of those and be like, yeah, do you have 3 hours? Well, here's a video for you. Or maybe, maybe you want to show them Deer Avenger. Maybe you have a hunter in your life. Maybe you know a hunter who's tangentially interested in this video game thing. And, maybe this would be the perfect way to onboard them. We leave it to your discretion, dear viewer. In either case, we just thank you for tuning up. We thank you for watching. We thank you for sticking with us. We will pay it forward by raiding someone, assuming there is someone left to raid. Redrill is playing Castlevania Portrait of Ruin, which is not a bad game. It's a good game, as a matter of fact. Are there deer in Castlevania? Is there any way I can stretch this into some sort of like...
one of the games probably has a monster deer in it somewhere.
Let's go with that. Let's pretend that that is in fact. So go see Castlevania. Go see the deers in Castlevania. Let them know that we sent you. Send them some love. They're good people. Castlevania's a good game. Please to enjoy. Please to consider watching. But that will do it for us here at the Bad Game Hall of Fame. I have been your consummate hunter professional, Cassidy.
And I have been your... Oh, God. You know what? Everything in my head was just awful. I've been, like, really bad ideas to make jokes, Charky.
Very good. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us. Remember to spay and neuter your pets. Don't shoot deer. That's all I got. Bye!
Good night, everybody.